leaders are not born by chance. They are inspired, empowered, and equipped. Today, we bring together passionate young minds to explore leadership, digital innovation, and inclusive technology. Welcome to the Global Impact Tech Youth Empowerment Summit 2026, where tomorrow's changemakers begin their journey today. Great leaders are not born by chance. They are inspired, empowered, and equipped. Today, we bring together passionate young minds to explore leadership, digital innovation, and inclusive technology. Welcome to the Global Impact Tech Youth Empowerment Summit 2026, where tomorrow's changemakers begin their journey today. Great leaders are not born by chance. They are inspired, empowered, and equipped. Today, we bring together passionate young minds to explore leadership, digital innovation, and inclusive technology. Welcome to the Global Impact Tech Youth Empowerment Summit 26, where tomorrow's changemakers begin their journey today. Great leaders are not born by chance. They are inspired, empowered, and equipped. Today, we bring together passionate young minds to explore leadership, digital innovation, and inclusive technology. Welcome to the Global Impact Youth Empowerment Summit 2026, where tomorrow's changemakers begin their journey today. Great leaders are not born by chance. They are inspired, empowered, and equipped. Today, we bring together passionate young minds to explore leadership, digital innovation, and inclusive technology. Welcome to the Global Impact Tech Youth Empowerment Summit 2026, where tomorrow's changemakers begin their journey today. Great leaders are not born by chance. They are inspired, empowered, and equipped. Today, we bring together passionate young minds.
Today's theme. Okay. Today's theme is Empower the Next Generation through Leadership, Digital Innovation, and Inclusive Technology. And I mean, with the way the world is going today, this cannot be more relevant at this point in time. Permit me to introduce myself. My name is Sinwadi Daniel. I am your moderator for today's event. Welcome, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Welcome and good morning. Just say hello, hello, if you can hear me in the chat box. Good morning. Tell me where you're listening from, your name, and then where you're listening from. Your name and where you're listening from. I'm going to be seeing it in the chat box, so let's keep it coming up. Your name and then where you are listening from. It's lovely, lovely to have everybody in here across Africa and around the world. Young people at the moment are not merely preparing for the future. They're actively shaping it, leadership, entrepreneur, innovation, excellence. They are doing absolutely well. They're making sure that the digital world is far gone behind. I mean, the analog world is far gone behind us. And we're in the age of AI. We have to move forward. And then we are doing all that we can in every space to move forward. Personal excellence has become the tool for the day. Now that's the currency that is being spent around the world. So welcome to today's event. I see that all my lineup of speakers are in the house already. Welcome to them. I can assure you that it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful one, and you're going to have fun. Trust me on this one. All our speakers are going to be sharing practical insights, real life experiences and actionable strategies to help us participate and grow globally. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your presence here. And then we look forward to having a lovely, lovely time. So let's just get started. I have rules for the house. let's just keep it quiet. Not rules, but then yes, there are ground rules. So just keep your mic muted. If you're not speaking, please mute yourself. If you want to say something, you can just you want to say something, you can just put it on the group chat, and then I'll pick it up immediately after our speaker is done. We're going to be having the speakers come up first, and then when we have questions, we can speak up at the end of the presentation. That's why we'll have the Q&A session, so we can wait during that time. Our first speaker for the day is a good friend of mine, Mr. Oluwaseyi Popola, and is going to be talking on the topic from student to professional navigating career success. Mr. Shea is absolutely passionate about helping young people successfully transition from school into the professional world. He has seen that there's a gap between school and the professional world, and that gap is what he's actively trying to close. I'm going to be reading out his bio before it comes up. Yeah. So Mr. Shea Popola is an information security, governance, risk and compliance professional with experience in risk management, assessment, cybersecurity governance, control reviews, and digital risk management. He has worked across product, process, and project risk, helping organizations strengthen governance, improve resilience, and support secure digital transformation. He's absolutely passionate, like I said earlier, about the intersection of cybersecurity, governance, privacy, and emerging technologies. Through his work and thought leadership, he advocates practical approaches to building digital trust, enabling innovation, and preparing professionals and organizations for the future of work. He's also building GRCQ, an initiative focused on practical GRC and information security learning. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Mr. Shea Popola on stage. Welcome, Mr. Shea. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Tinuade, for that introduction. It's good to be here. Uh, and I'm glad that you're the one hosting again. So thank you very much for
Good to
that
meet you.
introduction. So I don't know, do I need to turn on my screen or I'm sorry, my video, or is it just fine like this?
It's lovely if we could see your face, but then if you can do that at the moment, that's fine.
Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Let me see if I because I'm not sure if it's so clear. Let me see. Okay, so hope my background is not noisy. Is it? Okay, okay, great. So, okay, please confirm that my screen is visible now and it's bold in like it's on presentation mode.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Okay, so um, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone on the call, wherever you are joining in from. Not that it's a global summit, so I don't expect it to be just people from Nigeria that are joining. So my name is Oluwaseyi Popola. I'm a cybersecurity or information security GRC professional, and I'll be speaking on the topic from student to professional navigating career success. So just getting into it, I'd just like to talk a bit from my background. So I didn't study computer science. I didn't study computer engineering, software engineering, or information security or cyber security like we have now in universities. In fact, in my school back then, I went to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and nothing like cyber security then in my school. Yes, there was computer science, but we didn't have cyber security, right? So I studied physics, electronics. In fact, I wanted to study mechanical engineering, but then I studied physical and physics, electronics, and it got to a point when I got to a particular level, like 300, 400 level, thereabouts, on my final year. Started pondering what exactly I was going to do, with physics electronics. You have some of my friends that were in computer science or engineering. They start teasing us and say, "Oh, you guys in physics electronics, you end up being a physics teacher and all that." Not that being a teacher is bad, but then I'm not sure that I saw myself in the classroom teaching. Yeah, if I was going to be teaching maybe on a platform like this and having webinars, seminars, and then doing that kind of impacting, but the classroom wasn't really my space. So the future for me was not certain as to what I was going to do with physics electronics, but along the line after graduating during my NYC days, I got introduced to the cybersecurity field, right? And then upon getting introduced, I took up some courses. I learned a few things on those courses, like the foundation of the things that I needed to know in cybersecurity. But then I dropped it for a while, right? And I got into the banking space, started out uh, operations department. But one thing that led me to even going to the banking was the fact that I knew I wanted to do more with cybersecurity and information security. And so upon getting into the operations space, I decided to take up more courses, do foundational certifications that were free. I didn't have to pay for anything at that time, and I was able to transition from normal operations into risk management, where I did cyber and operational risk, and then I transitioned into information security fully, right, in the bank, moving to another bank. So I just said all of this story to like give you a background as to where we are coming from the students right to being a professional. There are some of the things that you can do, taking each step by step. If you look at the image, you see the image of a student graduating and then becoming a professional. So I chose this picture to just show the different stages. And so let's get right into the um, presentation fully, right? So the world of work has actually changed from the way it used to be before. Well, in a way, right? So because before, what we could see generally was that the way things moved was in a linear stage. Before you have people graduate, pick up a job, and then start working on building their career. In fact, people had jobs waiting for them in the times of our parents and grandparents, right from school, they start coming to hunt them into organizations. And then, so once they are graduating, they are getting their jobs, and then they are able to build their career, stay at one place for like 14, 15, 20 years, 30 years before they retire, things like that. You see people staying at one position for a long time, so they now build their career on that. But now, the trajectory of building a career or profession has kind of changed. So it's still the same thing, you still graduate, right? But the dynamics or the things involved with it right now are changing. So if you can't hear me at any point, please bring my attention to it, right? And if I'm moving too fast, please let me know. So now we have that you have people learning, having to learn different things on one specific thing, and then you have to build skills around what you've learned, like tangible skills around what you've learned. And then, sorry, you now have to gain experience from those skills. So sometimes gaining experience doesn't necessarily mean you've gotten a steady job. It might mean you're doing something around building personal projects or doing internships or being a volunteer to gain valuable experience. And then you have to build relationships with people, real people, network with real people. And then you keep learning because learning never stops now in this age and time. And then you now have a successful career growth in this time because what people are looking at, things are changing, dynamics are changing, technology is evolving. So with this, you can't say you want to stay put. Take for example a secretary, someone that gained the job as a secretary in the times past and was using the typewriter for taking minutes and typing and writing. Things changed from the typewriter down to the computer. Even the computer in itself changed because we had the mainframe computer that was super big before it became your personal computer, that the computer and the CPU that we had before, and then now we moved to laptops. Now we moved um, to tablets and iPads and the likes. So things change, right? And if you're not willing to learn or keep learning, it can affect the way you would be seen in terms of your career and the way you have that career growth. This is just to show that things change the way we had before and now. So and in the fact that things have changed, it's important to say that it's important to note how the degree that we now get as a different perspective. Now, it's important to say that degrees can actually open doors, right? But it is your skills that now create the opportunities for you to grow. What this means is that if you're seeking a job, if you're seeking something to do right now. Yes, it's important for you to have that degree, especially in this part of the world where we find ourselves in Nigeria. It might not be like that in other spaces, like in the other Western worlds. Maybe they don't hold the degree as much, but yeah, in Nigeria, where I'm speaking from, right, you need things like your WAEC to show that you've done the 6 years in secondary school. You need your either your you need your higher institution of learning certificates. That's your BSc, BTech, BNG, BEd, whatever it is, right? And these are the things that you use to apply for a job because those are one of the important criteria every organization asks for. They tell you, oh, you need to have passed WAEC and have credit, at least credit in maths or English and any other subject, right, at either one or two sittings, depending on how critical the role is. And they'll tell you that they want to see your higher institution degree. Some even go as far as asking for um, postgraduate certificates like masters, right? And then without any of this, you don't even have the first step in opening the door to a professional career. Now, this is not speaking to the business world. It might not be like this in terms of doing businesses or becoming an entrepreneur, but we're talking about the 9 to 5 that everybody sees or freelancing as it were. While skills is now what creates the opportunity. So if you're able to get to the door for interview, let's say you're able to be called upon for an interview, right? The skills you are able to show in that interview is now what creates or gives you the opportunity that you deserve. So we can say here that we say degree is what is the foundation. It shows foundation that you have foundational knowledge. It shows that you have credibility. It shows that you have knowledge. So when we say foundational knowledge, we are talking about okay, you're able to go to an institution of learning every day. You show up, if not every day, but at least you're able to show that you're able to show up day in, day out for 4 years, for 5 years, for 6 years, depending on your course. You're able to show up in that institution of learning, do what you need to do, have basic knowledge of whatever role it is that you are seeking, whether it's accounting, tech, cybersecurity, software engineering, economics, things like that, right? Being a lawyer, anything it is, you're showing that you have that foundational knowledge. It shows credibility. The fact that you're able to present um, that certificate. You have organizations, right? When they want to employ people, they do a lot of background checks through independent or third party means, right? And then the knowledge, it also shows that you have that knowledge. But you see the skills now. Skills is not just certificates. Skills is not just saying, um, I know maths, I know further maths, I know accounting, I know cybersecurity. No, skills is saying that you're able to solve a particular problem for that organization, like you're able to communicate clearly because these are the things that they like to see. skills. They are able to communicate whether orally or written, have proper written communication. Because when you get to an organization, the most of the things you do is to try to communicate an idea, trying to communicate a solution, trying to communicate a problem, trying to solve a problem, sending emails, sending correspondences. Then you are able to show skills around different technologies, whether it's content creation, social media management. You're able to show that you can use the tools and technology that um, is needed in such industries, in banking, in tech. You are able to show those skills. Leadership, because you'll be working with people and you should be able to lead yourself and lead other people, right? Teamwork, you're able to work with other people. Critical thinking, very, very important. So these are the things, or these are some of the skills that you need that would create an opportunity for you beyond just having a degree, because anybody can get a degree these days. Some people even go as far as forging degrees. It's possible. So the skills is what sets you apart from just having that degree, right? So one important thing to note when trying to transition or trying to grow from just being a student or early graduate person into a professional is to know that learning never truly stops. I know that we usually have this thing for some of us, like some of us that like to just joke that when we're in university, we'll say, if you're able to finish from school, then I would never open one book again. Before I open book or before I read anything, even signboard, I will not read. I know I said some things like that, but the truth is that on this professional journey, right, learning never stops, right? The day you stop learning is the day you die. So whether it's learning in the university, in the four walls of the university, four walls of an institution, um, four walls of let's say special classes or MBAs and the likes, or specific trainings, you still learn new technologies. Before we didn't have AI. Now we have AI. We have generative AI, agentic AI. Things are changing. So if you're the kind of person that says, "Oh, you don't want to move with the times, you just want to stay archaic," you'll be left behind, right? Whether it's trying to get a career growth, you need to do more certifications, you need to learn new things that are evolving in the space that you find yourself, because the same way medicine was 10, 20 years ago is not the same way medicine is right now. It has advanced, things have changed, right? If it is doing a first job, you have to learn on that job. If it is trying to get new skills that are different from the ones that you already have, you still need to learn. So learning never truly stops, right? And this is one thing that I want to instill in us today. If you're not going to live with anything, you need to live with this, that learning never stops, right? So learning can actually happen through different ways. There's no specific way to learning. You can learn through taking up courses, physical or online courses, going for classes. You can read. Now, reading is not just reading educational materials. You can read um, different top on different topics. Read wide, read newspapers, read journals, read research papers, read novels, right? Read motivational books. You can learn one or two things from them that you don't have known before. So reading is quite important. You can also learn through mentorship, having someone mentor you. Now, I'm going to talk about what mentorship is and what mentorship is not in a way when in the coming slides. So you can learn from a mentor directly or indirectly. You can learn by attending conferences, webinars like the one that we are having right now. This is a form of learning, right? You can learn by taking up projects, having projects that you want to do, personal or doing for people through volunteering. So some people shy away from volunteering, and being a volunteer is one of the best things that you can do for yourselves, because even if you want to apply for, let's say it's not even for a job, if you're trying to apply for things like scholarships, grants, and the likes, or leadership opportunities, volunteering is one of the major things that they look at that you need to have done, right? Don't tell me you want to get a global opportunity that you're trying to solve a problem for your local community when you've not done any volunteering or free work that is, in line with anything you're trying to ask for. So volunteering is very important. I remember that I also did a volunteering in the line of cybersecurity. There's a particular company, Cybersecurity Education Initiative, that I actually volunteered for. We went about, doing teachings on cybersecurity. We went to churches, we went to schools, we went to radio stations and the likes, TV stations even, at fact. So at some point in your life, you need to volunteer. Internships. Some people will say they cannot do work for free. People of God, my brothers and sisters, it is very important that you can also do internship. I remember, right, before I even like the fact that even in schools, in universities, is one of the things that they imbibe for. So for IT, you have to go for IT at some point in in your school, maybe in 300 level. I don't know. I'm talking between students now and early graduates. So if you were to be in school, right, there's a particular level where you go for CWES or internship or IT, right, industrial attachment. And then even beyond that, you do graduate internships. So I remember I also did internship in a radio station. This is not even in line with cybersecurity, but by the time I was applying for my first job, right, I was able to put this as some of the experiences. So you see that even though you are applying for a graduate trainee role, right, you see that they say, okay, graduate trainee is usually 0 to 1 or 2 years experience. You would now ask yourself, why are they asking for a year or 2 years experience? Or how do they expect me to get this experience when I'm just fresh out of school and I'm just a fresh graduate? How do I get this experience? So this internship or volunteering is one of the ways you can get experience, right? And you can put this on your CV. So whenever I look at young people's CV, young graduate CVs, and I see it blank and just straight to university and they are actually seeking a job, I feel kind of funny or weird in a way. Like, there are things you could actually pick up. We see it's just information, searching for the right places to get this information. Search on the web. You see internships or volunteer opportunities that you can actually take up and do. Conferences like this, webinars like this, from time to time, they put out information for volunteers. Apply, take it on. Even if it's for 3 months, 6 months, it's something, it's an experience, and it can actually work for you in the future when you're trying to apply for a job or for a grant or for a scholarship, right? So now, another important thing we need to look at is build your professional brand before you actually need it. You don't have to wait till you finish school. You don't have to wait till when you're applying for a job or when you're trying to pursue the next promotion before you build your professional brand, right? There are different things that we have now. There are different things that we do, and in this world that we are in a world that um, is attention seeking. It's to have validation. People need to see you because people can only recommend what they see. They cannot recommend what they cannot see, right? So you need to build your professional brand, make it visible, be visible. We have platforms, we have tools now that can help people show visibility and show knowledge and show skills. You have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the Facebook for professionals or the Instagram for professionals, right? It is where you showcase the things that you do. So some people will ask, what do I post on LinkedIn? I'm not doing anything. I've not started work. I don't have anything to post. But that's a lie, right? Even if you are doing a course or learning something, you can document your learning journey on LinkedIn. Okay, I just started learning how to code or how to use Python. This is the one of Python learning. I did so and so. This is the one of data analysis. This is the one of project management. I did this and this on my first day, did this on day 15. Oh, I had problem understanding this particular topic. You write it down, you document. What do you think about this? How would you um attend to this kind of problem? Even if nobody interacts with your post, keep putting yourself out there. It's visibility. Okay, and you might say, okay, I'm not the LinkedIn type. Even if it is Instagram, you know how to use, right? Don't just be the person that is just posting, get ready with me, or see me as I go this place. No, you can actually use Instagram to also document the things that you do. Look at someone like Salem King, right? Before he became the popular Salem King that we know, he started by showing up day by day, posting different things about his the journey and things that he knows day by day on LinkedIn. And then from one day, it kicked off, right? So you can also write, learn to write. We have tools now that you can use for writing. You have Substack, you have Medium, you have blogs that you can, free blogs that you can set up. Write. Speaking also, look for little speaking engagements that you can actually do. For me, what I'm doing here right now is also a way of building my professional brand, right? Speaking, and then you have embarking on projects. Do little online projects that relates to the things you are doing. Maybe if you are in cyber, sorry, I'll be giving cybersecurity examples because that's my field, right? So if he's building a small home lab, if he's doing a small audit, if you're in data analysis, pick a set of data, analyze those data, build dashboards around it, give meaningful insights. If it's project management, if you're going to take up a small project like, oh, okay, organizing a small hangout, organizing a small talk, a small get together, it's a project. No matter how little, document every little thing that you did from step by step. Document it and post it. You might never, you might never know who is watching because for me, my first ever interview that I did, major interview that I did, I got it on LinkedIn, right? The CEO of that company, it was an advertising or media company that reached out to me for a role. And he reached out to me via LinkedIn because I was just always posting different things about what I know or about social media. And then, even though that was not going to eventually be my line, right? But he just reached out to me. I was like, are you fresh out from school? I said, yes. He said, do you need a job? I said, yes. And he said, okay, come to so place in Lagos for this interview on so time. And that was it. I did the interview. So you may never know who is watching or who is looking at what you're doing. So just always, build that brand before you eventually need it. Because evil fails to plan, plans to fail. That's how they say it, right? So another misconception that I want to clear now is about certifications, right? People think that, oh, okay, before they can actually get a job or do a particular thing, they need to get certifications. True, right? Certifications are powerful, right? But they are not magic. They don't just get you the job. The fact that you have a certification today does not automatically grant you that job, right? So it's important that you don't just become a certification collector, but instead aim for being a problem solver. So if people are able to see that you can solve their problems, they would actually give you the job that they need to give you rather than, you know, going over to someone else. So knowledge, practice, and experience helps you to build professional value. Instead of chasing certification, chase knowledge, chase practical experience, right? And then that way you are able to build your professional value. So don't just chase certifications because sometimes certifications can even be an hindrance. They'll tell you, how come you're getting all these certifications but you've never for once practiced? Then there's a problem somewhere. So now, when it now comes to networking, yes, so networking, mentorship, and like network with purpose, right? You see people go for events, and then they all they do is, oh, when they see a new person, they just begin to say, I need job, I need you to give me job, or they want to just take photos at events, and they just exchange contacts and then archive the contacts and never message or anything. That is not how to network. That is not how to network. Proper networking is building genuine relationships with people. Build genuine relationships with people. Look for opportunities to learn from those people. You're looking at their posts, if it's on LinkedIn, if it's on Medium, if it's on Substack, you're engaging their posts, you're learning through what they are doing. You're giving value. Value could be as little as commenting on their post, encouraging them that, oh, okay, I thought about this, I listened to what you said. Yes, I agree with you. And I also feel give 1 or 2 points. Let them show that you also have something in your head that you are able to, offer, right? These things are something that I've practiced, and I can actually attest to the fact that they work, right? They work. Proper networking gives you opportunities that you will not necessarily have. Staying connected, if it is just, oh, hello, good morning, sir, good morning, ma, I just said I should check up on you and wish you a happy new month. I just said I should check up on you, happy birthday, if it's their birthday, happy anniversary, things like that. You don't need to always be in their face. You don't need to constantly bug them with so much information. Just little things like, I just said I should check up on you. How is everything going? How's business? I will fine. Drop it once and then observe. Then keep showing up on your own part also. People like to see that you are actually doing something before they readily invest in you. So with some of the places you can network, you have conferences, LinkedIn, student clubs, volunteer work, and professional associations. So I don't need to go into much details because I've mentioned some of these things before, right? Now, the digital economy needs you because of the I'm talking about this now because of the main thing that we are discussing, that is around new technology, AI, and all of this. So technology is evolving day in, day out, right? And there are different topics or different areas. You have AI, cybersecurity, data, cloud, software, and the like. So I'm trying to split things up because of my time. So even if you are not into coding or into tech, there are still countless opportunities for you. You have tech sales, marketing, project management, and the likes. So another major thing is adaptability. It is one of your competitive advantage. You need to be able to adapt easily, learn, apply, reflect, improve, and repeat this process, because the most successful professionals are often those who adapt the fastest, right? If you're able to adapt, you can do a lot of things. So this is a career roadmap just for anybody that's looking to build a career. Discover yourself, your foundation, gain experience before you're hired, build your professional brand, build meaningful connections, launch and keep growing. I won't do much of this, I've already explained. So I'll leave you with this, right? 5 actions you can start this week. These are some of the things, quick, measurable, and quick things that you can actually do. Go online, update your LinkedIn, update any professional platform that you want to use. It is Instagram, update it, refresh your slides, your grids, and all that. Learn a new skill that you think will benefit you in the future. Build one project, attend one professional event. You're attending one right now, and connect with one mentor. Small actions create big opportunities, and it's important that you know this. Little by little, baby steps is what compounds into being um, something major. So my final message also is, your degree is your foundation, your skills are your advantage, your character is your reputation, your consistency is your future. Consistency is key. Success is not something you wait for, it is something you prepare for every day. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alwashi. A virtual round of applause for him. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I can see people saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you, Akomalidi. Thank you, Omi. Thank you, Akwande. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Alwashi. That was a fantastic session from you. I've learned a lot, and I'm very sure that a lot of people have learned as well. Some of the things you have said have stayed with me, and skills create an opportunity that sets you apart. That's very important for people to understand. Degree opens doors. And the way we used to have the slang out, oh, school and scam. Obviously, school not be scam. School is not a scam. You have to go to school. School is like going to school is like you having the foundation for your life, for success in your life. You want to be successful, get an education. It is absolutely important. Even people that we see that they probably dropped out at one point in their lives, they've gone back to school because they know how important it is to get an education. And not just getting an education, but also having a skill that would set you apart. Another thing that you said is chase practical experiences. And the way you can chase the practical experiences, aside gathering certifications, is by volunteering. For me personally, volunteering has helped me a whole lot. It has exposed me, has given me, a lot of freebies that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I was not volunteering, right? So I'm encouraging every other person, like Mr. Shea has said, endeavor to volunteer. Yes, you do services that are pro bono, do your internship well. Know that tomorrow that you're just paving a way for yourself tomorrow. Another thing that you said is be consistent, keep showing up. Not today you're down, tomorrow you're up there. People would notice the inconsistencies, but consistency is the rule of the game now. Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwaseyi, for this practical and beautiful insight you have shared with us. And this brings me to my next speaker of the day. I understand that some persons would have questions, but we're going to be asking, we're going to wait till our Q&A sessions, but you can put them on your screen. You can put them in the chat box right now. But I have a particular question for you, Ms. Alvache. Yeah, just one question. But I'll probably just wait till the end before I ask you that question. I'll probably just wait. So I won't be the only one asking questions, but if there are other persons that want to ask questions, we can just put it in the chat box so that I will take them at our Q&A session. Thank you so much again, Ms. Oluwaseyi. Our next speaker for today is Ramatulai Musliuddin Sumisala. She's going to be talking on communication skills for emerging leaders. So it's not just about you getting an education, you having the skill, but now how to communicate that skill or how to communicate that education is what Sumisola is going to be talking to us about. So Tumisola is a cybersecurity analyst with over 3 years of experience in penetration testing. She's passionate about empowering Muslim women and supporting them in advancing their careers without compromising their faith, which is very important. She's the founder of Tamkin, an initiative dedicated to helping Muslim women build confidence, excel professionally, and maintain a healthy balance between career growth and faith. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Ramatulai Musliuddin Sumisala. We're glad to have you. Have you she in here? Can you hear me?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Fantastic, fantastic.
Hi,
Thank
can
you.
you hear me?
Thank you so much. Yes, you have the floor now.
Thank you for having me. Um, Sorry, I don't know if you can help me.
You want me to help you share
Can you hear
your
me?
presentation? Yes, we can hear you.
This slide.
Okay.
Okay, so please, can you help me share this slide? Like present it.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Just give me a moment while I just confirm if you can see my screen now.
It's not coming up yet.
How about now?
Okay, I think it's coming up. But okay, yeah, it's up now. Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Ramtulai Muslihuddin, and today we'll be discussing about communication skills for emerging leaders, how to communicate with confidence, clarity, and impact. But before we begin, I would like to ask a simple question, which goes that how many of us have ever had a great idea but struggled to explain it? So I would like us to use the chat box. Please indicate if you can hear me.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, the question is in the chat box. I haven't. Okay. Miracle Hour said, I have struggled. Anyone else? Okay. Um, okay. So I know that so many of us would have experienced that. Personally, I have experienced the same same thing. However, there is the truth that I know is that communicate that knowledge efficiently. People may never recognize your value, and that is very, very important. And we all know that um, communication is what transforms ideas into opportunities. Opportunities. When you are able to communicate very well, you'll be able to try. So today's session, I'm going to talk about how to become also in leadership positions. So slide 2, please. Can you hear me, please? Slide 2. Okay, so the objective that we are going to follow in this session is how to understand why communication is a leadership skill, how to know the communication skills employers value, recognize the communication skills they value, how to apply practical strategies to communicate effectively, and also how to build confidence in professional interactions. So, slide 3. Let's look into why communication matters. Next slide, please. Oh, now, okay. So let's look into why communication matters. Many people believe communication simply means talking. No, just like I said, it builds ideas into opportunities. It is much more than just talking, without communicating effectively. And it affects almost every part of our lives. When we look at it, it affects our leadership skills, employability, teamwork, networking, and also career growth. Let's imagine two graduates with the same degree and identical technical skills. One communicates confidently, the other struggles to explain ideas. Who do you think gets promoted first? They both have the same degree and the same identical technical skills. However, one can communicate confidently, but the other cannot. He or she struggles to explain ideas. Who do you think will get promoted first? If I'm the employer, obviously, the person I'm going to give my job to is the person that can communicate effectively. And that is because That is because the person is able to communicate effectively. He or she is able to give uh he or she is able to follow clarity when people give ideas, or when he or she wants to communicate. You will be able to see that, okay, there's clarity in this person's communication. And you will notice that employers actually hire people who can collaborate, people who can trust, okay, they can trust. Even clients, they trust people who can explain things very well, and not just people that have a particular degree or particular technical skills. And I said earlier that the communication skill is the bridge between ideas and influence. So we need to know that communication turns opportunities into success. I mean, when you have a strong communication, you'll be able to turn opportunities into success. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
what
there.
is effective communication? What is effective communication? Effective communication is the ability to share ideas clearly while ensuring the message is understood. You need to ensure that your messages is understood exactly as you intended. It is not just about speaking. Oh, I've been talking since. Am I not communicating? Are you not understanding what I'm saying? You are not communicating. It involves four important things. And what are those four important things? This is speaking clearly, listening actively, understanding others, giving and receiving feedback. The four things I mentioned: speaking clearly, listening actively, understanding others, giving and receiving feedbacks. You know, sometimes we think we've communicated simply because we've spoken, simply because, oh, I just spoke to you. You know, that's not true. Communication only happens when understanding takes place. You speak to me, I'm able to understand what you said. I'm able to listen actively because you had spoken clearly, you know. So I'll be able to understand, okay, what is going on? What are you talking about? You are communicating to me like that. And think about when you send a text message that gets misunderstood, or someone said something, you actually communicated, but it wasn't effective. The message you sent to me wasn't effective, but you communicated to me. And we need to know that the goal isn't about talking. Oh, I'm just talking, just like I mentioned earlier. The goal is to understand, you know, to understand what is being communicated, what is being talked about. So the 5 C's of effective communications. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yeah, it's up already.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's up already. Number 5,
Hi,
right?
Tino. I think
5 C's.
okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, thank you. So when we look at the next this slide, it talks about the 5 C's of effective communication. What are the 5 C's of effective communication that when you communicate to someone, you need to understand? And I think is a very important part whereby we need to practice whenever we are communicating to someone. This is clear, concise, correct, cautious, and confident. So let's look into clear. When we're talking about being clear in your communication, it means you use simple languages and you avoid confusing words. You ask yourself, will everyone understand me? Am I easy to understand? That is what we mean as being clear in your communication. Now, looking at the second one, which is the concise, you need to know that, okay, let's go straight to the point. You don't use 20 sentences when you have just five, when you know that, okay, just 5 sentences will do. and you respect people's time. You get to the point, straight to the point. You don't beat around the bush. And when we look at correct, you use accurate and professional information. You use professional languages, especially in emails and presentations. And you need to know that incorrect information damages credibility, which we need to take notice when we are communicating. Okay, looking at being cautious, you need to be respectful and considerate, because communication isn't just about what you say. It's also about how you make people feel. How do you make the person you are talking to, how do you make them feel? You need to know that simple words like please, thank you, excuse me, sorry can go a long way. And respect builds relationships. So that is what we mean as when you are being cautious. And the last one, which is confident, is that you need to deliver with assurance. Deliver with assurance. You should know that, sorry, you need to deliver with assurance, not I'm not sure, I think maybe stand behind the ideas while.
I think there's a glitch. Simisola, can you hear us? Hello, Simisola, are you here? Let's see if she's still in the room. Please, can we put in the chat box what we've learned so far? Yeah. Now you can say that the 5 magic words they taught us in the nursery school, it's not wasteful, it's not being wasted, right? Can you just put up in the chat box what you've learned so far? Is she in here now? Oh, okay. I think she's logged out. We just wait for her for a minute more. If she can try to come in.
Sorry, I got locked. Okay, can you hear me? It's the network.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So as I was saying, we need to be confident when we are talking, and it's not about, oh, this person is arrogant or something like that. It's just that you know what you're talking about. It means you actually believed in your preparation, you believe in what you are trying to say to the other person. Whenever we want to communicate, we need to ask ourselves, is my message clear? Is it concise? Is it correct? Am I being cautious enough? And am I confident about what I'm talking about? In this slide, we should look at this scenario. A manager, he said, hi, Amina, could you please send the sales report by edit for today's management meeting? Let me know if you need any clarification. Thank you. This mail that was sent to Amina, what can we pick from this meal? What can we pick from this meal? So he said, "Hi, Amina. Could you please send the sales report by 3 o'clock p.m.? I need it for today's management meeting. Let me know if you need any clarification. Thank you." We talked about the first 5 C's: being clear, being concise, being correct, being cautious, and being confident. The manager simply is male. When we look at it, we'll read it very slowly, just like I read it the other time, and we can notice that it states exactly what is needed. It was clear, and it was being concise. No unnecessary information that is not needed. It wasn't in the mail. It was correct professional language and cautious. We could see please, thank you in the mail, and confidence. It gives clear instructions without sending uncertain information. And what I'm saying here is that the manager uses polite language, specifies the deadline, offers clarification, and it also ends professionally. So let's imagine another manager that simply writes, send report ASAP, send report ASAP. Please, which one are we going to which one are we going to like which manager are we going to take serious? I'll be like, "Ah, what does it mean? Is it the one that don't I have any other job? Cautious. It didn't even state what they need, things like that. You'd be like, "Ah, I have other things I'm attending to. So we'll see that the manager we are going to take serious is the first one that we can see the 5 C's in his mail. It means that when you communicate professionally, you create trust. And when people trust your communication, they trust your leadership as well. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yes, it's here already.
Okay. So now communication skills. What are the essential communication skills? I've said it earlier that communication isn't only about speaking. We need to look into these essential communication skills: active listening, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, emotional intelligence, professional writing, and giving and receiving feedback. Let me start with active listening. Uh, Active listening isn't about waiting for your turn to talk. Oh, I'm waiting for my turn to talk. It means understanding what the other person is talking about. When we talk about good listeners, they don't just ask questions. They don't interrupt. They listen very well, understand what the other person is talking about before they ask questions. So that is what active listening is about. Then verbal communication. When you're talking about verbal communication, it means you're talking about when you use clear words, you speak at a comfortable pace rather, and you avoid filer words like um like that is what we talk about verbal communication. However, non-verbal communication is when your body speaks louder than your mouth. When your body speaks louder than your mouth, you think about the eye contact. You think about the eye contact, facial expressions, the postures, the gestures. All these communicates confidence when we are talking. Those are the non-verbal communication. I'm speaking to you, I can see your facial expression, your posture, your gesture. I can say, oh, this person is actually very confident in communicating or in talking about what he or she is talking is saying. And then let's look into emotional intelligence. There are some people that when you talk to them, they already know what you want to say, the next thing you want to say. It's not as if they can read your mind. It's just because they learn to recognize emotions. They can recognize yours, they can recognize any other person in okay. You are in a meeting and you just see someone listening actively, and when the person is talking, just like, oh, this person is right. Like, oh, are you reading are you reading my mind? The person can read your emotions, can recognize your emotions, and they know the perfect response to give. And they know that sometimes people don't need solutions immediately. They simply need someone to listen, someone who listens to them. So that is what we call emotional intelligence. You can listen. You don't just provide solutions immediately. Professional writings. We need to know how to write professionally. Emails, reports, messages, applications. You need to know that your writing represents your professionalism, and you need to proofread before sending. Thank God for AI today, but still, you still need to proofread that before sending so that you can build your professional trust. Giving and receiving feedback. Oh my God. You see this part? Some people don't even like receiving feedback. You see, somebody will give you feedback, you'll be like, what's going on? Like the person's reaction, maybe the person don't even react. The face, you could have seen that, oh, it seems this person does not. So it's you could have just imagine what the person needs, and you see that, oh, feedback. But one thing I want us to know is that feedback isn't criticism. Yes, if somebody give you feedback at work or at a place, you just know that, oh, it isn't criticism. It is an opportunity to improve what the feedback is being given about. And we need to learn how to receive correction without becoming defensive. Some people cannot receive correction without being defensive. Likewise, whenever we want to give somebody a feedback, we should give that feedback respectfully as well. In as much as you shouldn't take feedback as a criticism or being defensive about it, you should also give people feedback respectfully. You need to understand that, okay, how is it going to make the other person feel as well. So let's look into this slide. Communication in the workplace. Communication in the workplace. You see, sorry, so many people when this part, we need to discuss about the mistakes that many of us make. It'd be like, oh, is my she is my workmate or my office mate, and we're already very comfortable. However, there are some times that the other person's reaction, or maybe what the other person tells us, does not really we don't really buy their idea. So that is why we need to know that we in the workplace as well, we need to learn how we communicate with people. And communication happens every day through interviews, meetings, emails, presentations, team discussions, and networking. Let's learn how to stop interrupting people when they are talking in our workplaces. We should listen. We should stop listening just to reply because of understanding. Okay, I just want to reply. We need to start understanding rather. We should stop using vague languages in the workplace or in our workplaces. We should avoid negative body language as well. We should stop making assumptions when we are in our workplace, when we are communicating, and we should stop using unprofessional expressions. Oh my God, some people they are very good in this unprofessional expressions. And instead of trying to sound impressive, just focus on being clear. You don't need to impress anybody. I know office politics and the likes, but then try to be very, very clear, be professional, be intentional about the way you communicate in your workplace. Every interaction contributes to our professional image. That is what we need to take home. So slide 11, please. The next slide. Practical strategies to improve. What are the practical strategies to improve? Common communication mistakes. We need to avoid interrupt. Okay, I think I've mentioned this. I've talked about this. Okay, practical strategies to improve. What are the practical strategies we need to improve? Please, the last slide. Practical strategies to improve. Okay, so we need to read every day. I mean, you know you want to improve in something, so you need to read every day because improving our communication doesn't happen overnight. We need to also practice some habits, which is read every day. Reading actually improves vocabulary. We need to practice speaking, volunteer to make presentations, seek feedback, ask trusted people. Okay, how can I improve? How was my presentation? You observe excellent communicators too. Oh, these people can communicate well. Observe them. You can watch TED Talks as well, and you watch experienced speakers. You listen more, you observe excellent speakers, you notice how they pause, how they use eye contact when they are speaking, how they structure ideas. And finally, we should listen more. We should know that great communicators are usually great listeners as well. Next slide, please. So let's look into this real life scenario whereby we have two job candidates. Candidate A speaks confidently. Candidate B mumbles when speaking. Candidate A listens carefully. Candidate B interrupts the interviewer. Candidate A gives clear answers, while candidate B gives vague answers. Candidate A maintains eye contacts, while candidate B avoids eye contacts. Who would you hire and why? Who would you hire and why? Please, I'd like us to answer in the chat. Looking at these two real life scenarios about the first candidate and the second candidate, who are you going to hire and why would you hire them? Why would you hire them? Because I can see people saying candidate A, candidate A. Why would you hire them? Okay. I can see people going for candidate A. They said someone said because candidate A would be easier to work with. Someone said candidate A speaks confidently. Someone said candidate A speak clearly, confidence, maintain eye contact, and doesn't interrupt. Candidate A for effectively communicating. Candidate A has a good communication skills. Candidate A can be easily trusted. Candidate A has the characteristics of a perfect employee type. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm getting more. Okay. Candidate A has the characteristics. Okay. Candidate A because he possesses the 5 C's of communication. Correct. So personally, I'll vouch for candidate A because candidate A actually has all the things I've mentioned, the 5 C's, the communication skills and everything. Because candidate A listens carefully, maintains eye contact, answers confidently, and communicates clearly, and also candidate A also beats the 5 C's of communication that we ask ourselves to look into when we are communicating. So thank you very much. Let's look at the key takeaways. Key takeaways. Before we end, I would like us to remember these 5 things. These 5 things. The first one is that communication is a skill that we need to learn. It is a skill that we need to learn. Maybe it's inborn for some people, but most of us need to learn how to communicate well. Because I could remember some years back when the way our parents, the way they train us, they will tell our parents, oh, they'll tell us when others are speaking you don't need to speak, or when something is happening you don't need to talk. However, we what they don't know is that sometimes those things have actually affected the way we'll be able to communicate. Some parents don't even listen to their parents, to their children. But nowadays I can see that some parents are now, they are now practicing intentional parenting, whereby they listen to their children. They ask their children, okay, talk to me. What happened in school today? Talk to me. What do you want? They don't ask them not to talk. That is how you can start building communication skill. By the time the child is grown, you see that this child can communicate effectively and has and know how to express him or herself. You understand what I'm trying to say? So we should know that communication is a skill. If we don't have it, we should build it just like we build other skills. It is a soft skill that we need to learn. Nobody is born to become a perfect communicator. It might be inbound sometimes, but for you to be a perfect communicator, you need to learn. You need to learn. We should also listen before responding. Let's respect people when we are communicating. We should respect people when communicating. And professionalism begins with effective communication. Professionalism begins with effective communication. Great leaders communicate with purpose. Great leaders communicate with purpose. However, we should know that we should never underestimate our voice. Never underestimate our voice. Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to talk. Oh, what if I say something and they tell me it's not good enough, or they tell me, or somebody go against what I just said? No, never underestimate your voice. We need to know that our voice can educate, our voice can inspire, our voice can influence. That is why we need to use it. Before I stop talking, I would like to encourage us more that we should be intentional about our communication. We should be intentional about our communication. We should remember that every communication, every conversation you have with someone is an opportunity to build trust. And hoping for a leadership position, you are looking for client. Every conversation, every communication is an opportunity to build trust. It's an opportunity to create value. And so thank you for having me. I'll be happy to receive your questions. And I wish every one of us the very best in our journey.
Thank you so much, Sumisala. Thank you. Thank you. Round of applause for a virtual round of applause. Absolutely. Thank you so much for those beautiful insights. Thank you for saying a lot. I'm sure that a lot of people everyone in here has learned how to communicate better as emerging leaders. I've also learned a lot myself. Some of the things I've learned is professional communication is important. When you're giving criticism, make sure you give polite criticism. When you take feedback, when you get feedbacks from people, take it as just like a learning curve for yourself. It's not that they're against you or they want to pull you down, but just take it as a learning curve. Another thing is when we should use AI. Yes, you did mention that. And then when we use that, we should use it well. It's not just AI has come to stay. It's not just we using it for like copy and paste. No, we should use it to communicate. We should proofread. Let me give you like a practical example. In my line of work, I work as a human resource officer. Sometimes I see people sending their cover letters, even CVs, and then it's just like they put it on ChatGPT, oh, I'm interviewing for this, just draft up something for me. And they just copy and paste. And I get to see these things. I'm like, I guess people not even read it, they don't not even proofread what they're trying to send out. So thank you so much, Ms. Ola, for helping us point out this details of how to communicate well. Another thing is we should not interrupt people when they are talking. I feel like it's a sign of disrespect when people are talking and you interrupt them. We're not babies, so it's just a baby that is talking. You're talking, adult is talking, and then they're trying to, just interject. So we should try as much as possible in our communication with people as emerging leaders. Rightly, we should not interrupt people because it's a sign of disrespect. Another thing that connects both speakers, our first speaker and our second speaker, that they both mentioned is reading. Reading is absolutely important. Reading stimulates the mind. It helps us grow. In fact, if you're not reading, you're actually shrinking the capacity of your brain, if you don't know. And then reading helps you focus, actually. So it's important that we absolutely read. Thank you again, Simisola, for this beautiful insights you have shared with us. This takes, I'm sure a lot of, yes, I can see that people have questions and they've been sharing them, but we're going to take them at question and answer session. We're going to come to that, so we will not run a loss with our time. So we're going to go to the next speaker for the day. And our next speaker is a man. We're having a guy again. Okay, we're having Rajatai Sulaiman. Sultan, pardon me for that, please. And then his topic is the leadership mindset for the 21st century. Yes, the leadership mindset for the 21st century. His bio is Rajatai Sultan is a cybersecurity professional and undergraduate student pursuing a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity at Rifa International University, Pakistan. Is passionate about protecting digital ecosystems through ethical hacking, vulnerability assessment, threat analysis, and risk management. With a strong foundation in cybersecurity principles, Raja has developed practical experience through academic projects, hands-on research, and continuous technical learning. His areas of interest include penetration testing, security auditing, incidents response, and emerging cybersecurity technologies. Is committed to lifelong learning and professional growth. Raja is dedicated to applying innovative security practices to address real-world cyber threats while contributing to a safer and more resilient digital landscape. He is enthusiastic about collaborating with professionals, researchers, and organizations to advance cybersecurity awareness and strengthen digital resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on our audio stage or our virtual stage with me, Raja Sultan. Welcome, Raja.
Assalamualaikum and hi, hello everyone.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Absolutely, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen.
Asia, we can see your screen now. Would you like for me to help you share your screen? Share my screen rather. Hello?
Okay.
First of all, stop sharing.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Today, we are going to talk about leadership mindset required in the 21st century. When we hear the word leader, we often imagine a manager, CEO, might be a president, or someone holding a very important position at a very important office or something like that. But leadership is not limited to a title. In my opinion, a student managing a university project, or a team member helping others, or anyone, a person taking responsibility during a difficult situation, can also be a leader. Modern leadership depends on four things: mindset, values, habits, and actions. So, during this presentation, we will explore how we can build these qualities and become effective leaders even before receiving an official leadership position. So, my name is Rajat Amur, as ma'am very well describes my professional life professional life. So we can skip the introduction part and just start the presentation. So, why leadership must evolve now? The world has shifted from stable hierarchies to constant disruption. Technology, markets, and expectations change faster than ever. In the past, an organization could use the same working method for many years. But today, a new technology like cybersecurity threat, economic crisis, sometimes a social trend can change everything within a very short time span. But for example, the growth of an artificial intelligence has changed how students learn, how business and how employees perform their jobs. A leader cannot simply ignore this change and continue using outdated methods. Traditional leaders was mainly based on giving orders, but and to expect people to follow. But modern teams and modern generation want communication, trust, participation, and a clear purpose. Today, people do not judge less by their title and more by how they think, decide, and treat people under pressures. So that is why leadership must evolve. The world has changed, so leadership mindset must change as well. To understand this change more clearly, let us compare old leadership with modern leadership. Old leadership is more about command. They just know that we have commanded this thing, so you have to fulfill it. Like authority driven, hierarchy control, fixed expertise, slow up down decisions, compliance focused. But now in the 21st century, we have shifted from authority driven to purpose driven, hierarchy control to collaboration and trust, continuous learning, fast and informed decisions, values, and ethics be focused. Because in the 21st century, organizations depended on strict hierarchy and control. Important decisions were made by senior people and then passed down to employees. Workers were mainly expected to obey only. They have no other options to question them. But if we have example waiter is working in the hotel, and the manager said that I'm the manager, so follow my instructions. Whatever I am asking, and do not you have no option to questioning me. In that case, he has no option. He has to work and he has to take care of his family. But in modern leadership, it is different. It is a purpose driven and based on collaboration and trust. In a modern leader, sorry, in a modern leader might say that this is an objective or this is a problem we are facing in the restaurant or in the hotel. So we have to sit and we have to solve them. So share your ideas with us, and and we will solve this. Decisions must also be made faster because circumstances change quickly. However, fast decisions should still be informed and ethical, but the major change is from command to connection, from controlling people to connecting them with a shared purpose. So, to succeed in the new environment, leaders need certain amount of qualities. The first one is adaptability. The ability to change direction quickly without losing sight of the goal. 21st century leaders treat uncertainty as normal, not exceptional. Practical habit, build a plan B mindset, always have one alternative ready before you need it. Adaptability means changing our method when circumstances change without forgetting our main goal. Imagine that you planned an outdoor university and suddenly we have a rain. Then how can you treat the situation at that time? An inflexible leader might panic or cancel the event, but an adaptable leader would move the event indoors, arrange an online session, or change the schedule, but do not cancel the event. The objective remains the same, whether it is an outdoor or indoor, whether it is an online or offline. But the objective is same, to conduct the event in a successful manner. Modern leaders understand that uncertainty is very normal. Plans can fail, technologies can change, and unexpected problems can occur. But a useful habit is to develop a plan B mindset. Before starting an important activity, ask yourself, ask your team, if this plan does not work, what will be the alternative? What we have to do if this plan fails or an unexpected circumstances come occur. So, for example, you may change how you communicate with your team, but you should not compromise honesty or fairness. Adaptability means being flexible in methods but stable in values. Adaptability isn't abandoning your values; it's finding new ways to live them. Even after adapting, we still experience a failure. That is why our second quality is resilience. Resilience means recovering fast, not never falling in the first place. Every clearly career setback, a rejected application, a failed project is data, not a verdict. That is why we say a single piece of paper cannot decide my future. Practical habit, after every setback, write down one lesson and one next action before moving on. Like resilience is the ability to recover after facing a difficulty or failure. Being resilient doesn't mean that you never become disappointed. It means you do not allow disappointment to stop you permanently. Like if you imagine that you are applying for a scholarship and at the end your application is rejected, you can treat the rejection as proof that you are incapable or you cannot study. But if you take it that I have to improve these things from this result and apply again in the next year or the next whenever the applications will be open. So you can might be if you will recover the all the setbacks, then might be possible you gain the scholarship. Similarly, if you fail in the university projects, you should not simply say I'm not good enough, or setting back yourself or demoting yourself. You can ask, instead you have to ask yourself that what I did wrong, or what I didn't learn, or what I will do differently for next time to succeed in this project. A simple habit. Now we come to the last point, practical habit. So a simple habit is to write down one lesson and one next action after every setback. For example, my event had low attendance because we advertised it too late. So next time we have to begin promotion 2 weeks earlier. The setback is not the final decision about our future. Our response to the setback is what defines us. Before a few minutes ago, I said that the piece of paper cannot decide our future because we have to study that, because what we are facing, why we are facing, and we need to fix these problems to succeed. Resilience helps us manage difficult situations, but leaders must also understand and manage emotions too. Self awareness, empathy, and self regulation now matter as much as technical skill. Teams follow leaders who listen first and react sound. Second, practical habit. Before responding to conflict or criticism, pause and name what you are feeling before you speak. Emotional intelligence. First, we have a question that what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence means understanding our own emotions, managing our reactions, and recognizing the feelings of others. A leader may be technically brilliant, but if that person constantly insults their members, becomes angry over a small mistake, or refuses to listen, the teammates or people will not feel safe working with them, with the leader. Support a team member makes Suppose a team member makes a mistake. A leader with low emotional intelligence may immediately shout out at him, or something he scold him like that. But a leader will not shout at him. He will use his emotional intelligence and understand the situation. Then he will calmly speak and focus on resolving the problem, not what it did. This is the work of the leader. This doesn't mean ignoring mistakes, it means handling mistakes professionally. Because when you work in a team, you have to lead the team to achieve the goal. Before responding during a conflict, pause for a second. You have and identify what you are feeling. You might say to yourself that I feel disrespected, or I'm worried about the deadline, or something like that, to assure the person, the team member, that you are worried about this thing and you have to resolve this. So people may forget the exact instructions a leader gave them, but they usually remember whether that leader made them feel respected, encouraged, humiliated, disrespected, and everyone can relate it. If we are working in a university, if a university, or if we are a student, like I'm talking about myself, like I am a student, and if I enter in a classroom and late, So my teacher scolded. So I might believe that he discouraged me for coming in the class. Might be possible whatever the situation I'm facing for being late, teacher doesn't know. But he is when I entered the classroom and instantly he just said me that why are you late, and the style of her language wasn't good. Then I might believe that he disrespected me and humiliated me in front of the whole class and in front of the whole students. So we have to deal and tackle with the emotional intelligence too. To guide others effectively, leaders must also continue improving themselves. And how they can improve themselves? By the skills. And we know that skills expire faster than ever. Curiosity is now a core leadership competency. The best leaders stay students of their field long after graduation. Graduation doesn't mean that you are ready and you are enough. You have no need to study anything about that. But to make practical habit, dedicate 1 hour a week to learning something outside your immediate job description. Hello. So let's continue. Like in today's world, knowledge and skills can become outdated very quickly. This is especially true in fields like I'm a cybersecurity specialist. So we saw that everything we have a new vulnerability in any software or any website. Even artificial intelligence is growing day by day. Healthcare, business, and digital marketing, even crypto. So we have a change, regular change. So we can say that I have learned this thing, and I have no further required to learn anything in this field. A good leader does not pretend to know everything. A good leader asks questions, reads the books, read the web pages, reads from the internet, take help from AI like ChatGPT 5.0, Sonnet, Claude. He attends training sessions like we are attending a summit. It is also, we can also say that it is a training session for all of us, including me. Leader always learn from other people and remains curious. Curiosity is the, we can say that the curiosity is the backbone of the leadership. One practical habit is to spend at least 1 hour every week learning something outside your immediate work. I'm a cybersecurity student, so I can learn public speaking, and artificial intelligence, or a business student can learn project management, psychology to deal with the people, or he can also business student can also learn basic computer skills. So these additional abilities can make that student a much more effective leadership. Graduation means completing a degree. It should not mean completing our education or stop learning. Stop learning process. When we stop learning, our ability to guide others also begins to decline. However, knowledge and skills are not enough. Leadership must also be based on strong ethics. So we talk about ethical leadership now. Influence without integrity is temporary. Trust is the real currency of leadership. Leadership gives a person influence, but that influence will not last without integrity. Imagine that a leader discovers an error in a report. No one else knows about it. The easy option is to hide the mistake. The ethical option is to report it, accept it as a responsibility, and correct it. The ethical option may feel difficult at that moment, but it protects the trust of your teammates, of your leader. Before making a difficult decision, you can ask yourself, like, would I feel comfortable if this decision became public tomorrow? If you feel uncomfortable about that decision, reconsider the decision. And if you are comfortable, then go for ahead. Talent and confidence may help a person receive an opportunity, but honesty, fairness, also the integrity to determine whether people continue trusting that person or not. A successful person without integrity may gain power, temporarily, but an ethical leader earns lasting respect. So, I would like to connect these leadership principles with my own field of cybersecurity. In my final year project, which is the last click trap, I named it the last click trap. I designed it. Basically, it is a honeypot. So what is the honeypot? Honeypot is a decoy system that appears and attractive to a cyber attackers instead of waiting for an attacker to damage the real system. We make a diffusive and fake system to attract the attackers and to make them attack on it. And when they attack on it, the honeypot allows security professionals to observe the attacker's behavior and learn about possible threats. So, the main idea is anticipation. We do not wait for the crisis before thinking about security, we prepare in advance. The same principle applies to leadership too. A reactive leader waits until a problem becomes serious. A proactive leader identifies possible risks and prepares a response before the attack or before the situation occurs. For example, if a project depends entirely on one team member, a proactive leader will recognize that this is a risk. What happens if that person becomes unavailable, he became sick, or he has a serious situation in his or her family? So what will happen about the project? How can they meet the deadline? But similarly, if proactive, if a leader is working on that, so he can think that we have another member, he can do the work, document the work, or create a backup plan to work other person to make people work on it. Similarly, before organizing an event, we can think that about possible risks such as low attendance, technical failure, might be a budget problem, or speaker at the last moment speaker might cancel the that he is facing an issue or something like that. So great leadership have something in common, and cybersecurity and leadership. The common is anticipate problems instead of simply reacting to damage. Think like a guardian, observe, prepare, protect, and then act. In the 21st century, we have discussed several ideas, but leadership only improves when ideas become actions. So, in this slide, we have three practical actions that we can take after leaving this session. First, this week we have one honest conversation that you have been avoiding. Perhaps a team member is not completing their responsibilities, or might be a misunderstanding between you and your friend. Avoiding the conversation usually allows the problem to grow. So speak respectfully, whether you are avoiding your friend or whatever it was. Just speak respectfully and um, clear the misunderstandings and focus on finding the solutions, not making the problem more bigger and more bigger. Second, this month starts a lesson that whenever you experience success or failure, write down what happened, what you learned, and what you will do differently over time. This will become your personal leadership guide. And the last, during this quarter, take responsibility for one initiative that is bigger than your current role. For example, you are a volunteer to organize an event, lead a small project, mentor your juniors, and motivate them to make the event successful. And if you are facing a problem, solve the problem in your community. Do not wait for someone to give you a leadership title that someone will ask me to solve this problem, someone make me a university society president, vice president, general secretary, or someone gives me some authority, so I will resolve this issue. No, you do not need authority to solve anything, to show your leadership skills. You just only require the problem and make it solve. And that is your work. As we reach the end, I want to leave you with one central message. And the message is leadership in the 21st century is not a position you wait for. It's a mistake mindset you build starting now. Means leadership, we can practice leadership as student, interns, employees, member, office colleagues, in a family, community. Every time we adapt to change, recover from failure to successful, we have to listen, learn something new, and choose honesty over all the things. The honesty makes you strengthen your leadership mindset. You do not become a leader only when someone gives you a team. If you are alone, you are also a leader. No matter you have a team, you have a one person in your team, you have many people in your team, doesn't matter, doesn't care about. You have to solve the things. You begin becoming a leader when you take responsibility for your actions, support the people around you, and make decisions based on strong values. So lead with adaptability, resilience, and most importantly, lead with integrity. With that message, I would like to conclude my presentation. uh, Thank you very much for your valuable time and attention. I hope this presentation has helped you understand that leadership is not limited to authority or position. It is reflected in how we think, before behave, learn, and respond to challenges. Now, I would be happy to answer your questions if you have anyone.
Wow. Oh my word. Oh my word. Lovely, lovely insight. Thank you so much, Raja, for expanding our perspective on technology, leadership, and innovation. Thank you so much. A virtual round of applause for him, please.
Thank you.
I'm sure everybody have learned a lot. So please, a virtual round of applause. He absolutely deserves it. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Oko. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ridwan. Thank you so much. Thank you, Raja. Raja has given us loads of insight, and then we're going to be using them. Particularly, there are a few things that he mentioned that I would like to reiterate. The fact that we should lead with the future. It might lead with integrity, lead with this, lead with that. All of this is saying that we should lead with the future in mind, because if you're a leader and then you do not have a legacy, you're not thinking of your legacy, then we should question what kind of leader that you are. Another factor that has joined all three speakers I've spoken so far is communication. Endeavor to communicate well, especially with emotional intelligence. As a leader in a team, you should know that you're not just dealing with one person or two people. And then the way you would respond to one person is not the same way you respond to two people. You could have high performers in your team. You could have people who are who are slow performers, right? So you have to deal with them individually and deal with them with emotional intelligence. Another thing that I have learned now is I'm going to be having like a lessons log. So when I learn these lessons, for every setback that I have, I'm going to jot down my lesson. I'm going to begin this so that I'll review it at the end of the year. I think you can do this with me as well individually. Have a lessons log when you come across a setback, or from anywhere, work, or in your personal life. Log it down. What have I learned from this? What can I do better? At the end of the year, you will see how far you have come with your growth and development. Thank you so much, Raja, for all of these practical habits that you have shared with us, and for widening our horizon when it comes to leadership and how to do better as a leader. Thank you so much. This brings me to, I'm sure we have questions, yes? We're still going to have a question and answer session. So let's just end our questions till that time. Raja, could you mute yourself?
uh, can you repeat?
Could you mute yourself since you're
Okay,
not speaking? Thank you.
sure.
Yeah. So thank you so much again, Raja. And then this brings me to our final presentation, and it focuses on the most powerful career asset anyone can ever have, and that is personal branding. Absolutely, absolutely important. And our speaker for the day is going to be talking on the topic personal branding and professional excellence. Let me just read out our bio. Yes, Daniel Sunday. Daniel is an entrepreneur, a cinematographer, and media strategist with over 6 years of experience building startup companies and scaling lifestyle brands from the ground up. She specializes in the creator economy, combining professional content creation with growth marketing to help businesses build sustainable digital brands. As a founder and the creative director of the Creator IBA, she leads brand consulting and creator programs while developing Creator Hub, an AI-powered ecosystem connecting talent with commercial opportunities. She has successfully managed multiple lifestyle brands and large-scale technology events, transforming creative ideas into thriving consumer communities. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome Danielle on the stage with me. Welcome, Danielle. We're glad to have you here. The stage is yours. Danielle, are you here? Can you hear me? I know I saw her earlier. Is she on this call? Okay. Okay, she's on the call. Danielle, kindly unmute and then have the floor. While we are waiting for Danielle to come up, kindly type in your questions in the chat box. And yes, your questions and who the questions for, or I probably have to decipher that myself. But type in your questions in the chat box. Daniel, if you can hear me, I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. Seems she's not ready yet. Okay, while we're waiting for Danielle, let's just have like icebreakers. I've been listening to all our speakers talk for some time now. I think it's just time for us to just, stretch our fingers on our keypad. So I'm just going to be asking a few questions and then I'll take a few answers as well. You can just type it in the chat box. So just make this list. So can you all tell me one particular thing that has stand out to you today from all speakers? One thing that has stand out to you, or one thing that stands out to you, one thing that you've heard, one statement you've heard that screams your name loud, and that you're saying, "Oh, well, yeah, this is for me." Oh, this person has said, "This is for me. I know this is particularly what I'm going to be doing." So we can have it in the chat box. One statement, one thing that screams out to you from all our speakers today. This we will do while we wait for Danielle to come on board. One particular thing that screams out right here. For me, a couple of things scream out for me, I think, and I did mention them. The fact that I'm going to be having like a lesson log right now, I will do that. You should be able to take in all the lessons I have learned from every no I get and what I'm going to be doing going forward. I am an avid reader myself, but I will continue to read. And for every other person that I get to tell, I just let them know that it's not just about stacking up certifications. You should practicalize these things you've learned while gathering your certification. And then how do you practicalize them, or how do you bring them to life? It is by volunteering. When you learn all the skills that you've learned. Do I have Danielle here? Is she ready? Okay, she's not ready yet. But we're still waiting for her. Oh, I was saying that all of the skills that we get to learn, emotional intelligence, communication skill, leadership skill, this skill or that skill, how do we bring them to life? That's by volunteering, right? And one thing that Raja said that stays with me is you don't need a title, to create impact. You don't need to be in a position of authority to create impact. As a volunteer, I'm just going to be speaking from the part of being a volunteer because I volunteer for different organizations. As a volunteer, you can absolutely do a lot without you being the team lead. You may not even be the head of this or the head of that, but you are doing absolutely well because you're giving impact. So you don't need a title to create impact. And all of these certifications that you start up, like I was saying, the skills where you to showcase them is by volunteering. If you're volunteering in this capacity or that capacity, what you have learned, you can bring it here forward. And then from there, you can build a portfolio for yourself, right? Is Daniel not still in here? So Kina, could you check on her? Please let me know the update. So I won't keep everybody waiting. I'm still waiting to hear from people. One thing that stands out to them. One thing that stands out to you from all our speakers today, just keep it in the chat box. I'm going to be reading them out. All right. Till Daniel comes up, we'll probably have to go through our rounds of questions. So let's just quickly move on to the Q&A session. If you have questions, you can just use the chat box or you can raise your hand and I can take your question. I'm going to be asking our speakers a couple of questions and I'm very sure that they will be happy to oblige me. So for our speakers, the question I have for you today is, just a second, and I have it written somewhere. So looking ahead to the next 5 to 10 years, what is one skill or quality that you believe every young person must develop to remain relevant, resilient, and globally competitive? Looking ahead to the next 5 to 10 years, what is one skill or quality you believe every young person must develop to remain relevant, resilient, and globally competitive? So our speakers, over to you. Would you like to take a go? Our speakers are in here, right?
Okay, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'd like to take that. So I think for me, I would say that adaptability is like a very important skill that in the next 5 years, years to come, it's something that every person should, develop to remain relevant because we're living in a time where technology is evolving faster than ever before, right? And AI is changing how we work. Industries are transforming, new opportunities are emerging. while others are actually disappearing. Some careers that we had before are no longer exist because of the emergence of new technology. So the people who will remain relevant, right, won't necessarily be those with the most degrees or certifications. They would be those who can continuously learn and learn and relearn. That's why you see that in some organizations, you rarely see um, vacancy open because even internally, people are doing training, people are taking up new skills and filling up roles that are coming up internally. And so adaptability means being curious enough to embrace change, humble enough to admit when you need to learn something new, and disciplined enough to keep growing. So that's what will help people remain resilient and globally competitive in years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Shay. Raja, do you want to go? Sumitawa, do you want to go as well? Raja, can you hear me? Sumitawa, can you hear me as well? I have asked that looking at the next 5 to 10 years, what is one skill or quality you believe every young person must develop to remain relevant, resilient, and globally competitive? Mr. Shea has mentioned adaptability, which is very important, being able to adapt in every situation, being able to be flexible in every situation. So what is yours, Raja, and what is yours, Sinsala? Just what skill? While we wait for them to come up, I'm just going to read out what Victor says. Victor says to be a leader, you don't necessarily need a team. You do not necessarily need a team. You can start by leading yourself. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Start by leading yourself. And then Akudo also says that thank you all for the wonderful insight and a huge thanks to Global Impact Tech for hosting this webinar. I have learned that we need to put ourselves out there and keep showing up. I also learned to seize opportunities to lead and not wait to be asked. Another key thing is that communication can be practiced. Absolutely, communication can be practiced. You know, sometimes I say to you that, oh, before you have a speech or before you say something, stand in front of the mirror and then you just rehearse. Absolutely. Your daily communication with people, you're rehearsing like that, you're practicing like that. The only thing is just you need to make it better and better. Thank you so much, Akudo and Victor, for sharing your insights and thoughts. Do we have any other person who is going to be sharing their insights and thoughts? Do we? Is Raja in here? Is Simsala here too? I don't think I see them. But if they are not here, okay, if they're not here, we can move ahead. Mr. Shai is same. Okay, they're joining. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I think Raja is joining. Raja, can you hear me? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Am I audible?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You heard my question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So please take a go.
Anyone have a question? You can ask.
Yeah, I did ask a question. I was saying that looking ahead to the next 5 to 10 years, what is one skill or quality you believe every young person must develop to remain relevant, resilient, and globally competitive? In your opinion, what's that one skill?
Okay, looking ahead to the next 5 to 10 years, I believe every young person must develop adaptability supported by continuous learning. Technology, especially like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, is changing the world faster than ever. So, some skills that are valuable today may become outdated within a few years. So, therefore, young people cannot depend only on what they learn during their degree. Adaptability means being willing to change our methods when circumstances change, while continuous learning helps us develop the knowledge so needed to move forward. For example, like a cybersecurity student should not learn only technical tools; they should also improve communication, leadership, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. So the goal is not to predict every future change, but the goal is to become capable of learning, unlearning, and adjusting whenever change occurs. Young people who remain curious, adaptable, will stay relevant, recover more effectively from challenges, and compete confidently at the global level. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I was smiling because it seemed all our speakers have like they think like in the same way. People that are, absolutely like
Yeah,
leaders, right? They think in the same way.
y-
Because
yeah,
the
I
same thing you
connected it.
mentioned is what Mr. Shea also spoke about adaptability. Yes, the world is evolving, right? So we're moving into the age of AI. And then, yes, being adaptable, not just learning the skills or just having the education, just not just relying on the education you have from school, but being adaptable is a is a skill that you need to learn in this moving world. So, Mr. Shea, thank you for that, Raja. Mr. Shea, you have a question too, actually. The first is you mentioned volunteering to prepare ourselves for Akudo. For Akudo is the one asking that you mentioned volunteering to prepare ourselves for opportunities. We know that we need to earn to take care of our needs and wants. So then, how can we recognize opportunities that propel us? How do we separate them from the ones that just drain us? Yes. I hope you got that question. And then the second one is with the recent development in artificial intelligence and saturation of the social media space, how does one stand out and position ourselves for the right audience? Sashi, did you get both questions?
Yeah,
Yes,
I get both
Nadi,
questions.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Just wait a minute
Oh,
and
sorry,
I
is the
answer
question for
this
me or
question.
for Raja?
I think
Uh,
it's for you, Miss Sashi. For yes, she specifically mentioned for Sashi Popola. So, Miss Sashi, the questions are for you.
Okay. Um, sorry, okay. Can you hear me now?
We can absolutely.
I think Raja's mic is still on anyway. So for the first question, right? Learning to identify volunteering opportunities that won't like drain you or um yes, I won't drain you, and then still also wanting to earn. So I don't know the particular points this person is or the particular stage in life the person is right. If we're looking at it from the angle of school, we know that okay, some people parents provide what some people have to pay for themselves, right? But then the balance with this, if you look at the roadmap that I talked about, the first and the career roadmap, one important thing for you to do is to recognize yourself, right? Recognize what you want, identify what you want, identify the things that can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so identify the things that you need to get to where you want to go. So when you identify what you want, how you where you want to go, identify the things that you need to, you know, get to where you go, the skills you need to build to get to where you want to go. So that is how you are able to identify the right volunteering opportunities or volunteering roles that would align with what you want to do. So so that you're not just, stretching yourself out saying attending to various types of volunteering opportunities. If it doesn't align with what you want, even if it is not giving you money at that point in time, you know that you are building a skill or deriving a network from that volunteering opportunity that would be meaningful for you and valuable for you in the nearest future. And in terms of building or from earning, if you're looking at okay, you need money. Yes, we also see some paid volunteering rules, right? There are also opportunities. Join communities that provide or that give out this kind of volunteering roles. There's opportunity desk or opportunity for youth desk. I'm not sure I remember how the name is, but if you search opportunity desk also, they release available volunteering roles or internship opportunities that are global that people can apply for, and some of them are paid, right? And then also using your skills to actually get paid is something that you can also do. You can also work on your skills. You can improve yourself. You can actually put yourself out there and actually get paid for some of the services you can render, like let's say graphic design, writing, copywriting, content creation. Some of those things you can get paid for, even though it's little. But if you build your skills to that level and you are visible, you can actually get paid while still volunteering for some of these things. While the second question, which is about developments in artificial intelligence or social media space, how does one stand out, right? And position yourself for the right audience. So I already talked about it. It's using the right tools, using the right tools, LinkedIn, Medium, Stockstack, Instagram. These are the ways you can put yourself out there. So for artificial intelligence, is a broad topic, right? And there are different things that you can niche down on in artificial intelligence. Some people learn to build AI agents that can do things that are autonomous. Some people can build AI workflows whereby you define a set of rules that systems and AI systems can follow through to do day-to-day activities. Some people learn how to create videos. Some people learn how to create automations using AI. So these are the different things that you can learn. So all you need to just do is go online, search for courses around AI, artificial intelligence, different niches, or you can even browse about the different niches when it comes to AI. There's AI governance, there's AI risk assessment for those that are looking into like the cybersecurity side of things, right? There's there are different things. There are different AI tools that are niche specific. Some AI tools are used to create slides, some are used for writing, some are used for analysis. So if you're able to learn the different, you don't need to learn everything. Just select the ones that would align with what you want to do eventually. Learn about it, learn about the systems around it, about some people even do AI training, data training. So there are different things. All you need to just do is document it, speak about it, write about it, let people see that this is what you are doing, and that's why you're able to stand out. And the more you do it, the more it's close to the right audience. Follow people that are in that space also. Engage with them, engage with their posts. That's one of the ways I talked about when it comes to mentoring. Give value, share ideas with people, and then things fall in place. So thank you very much for that question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shay, for answering that. I hope that answers your questions well. We have two more for Mr. Raja, but before we take that, we have Danielle is in the house. From that, Danielle is in the house and she's ready to give a presentation. I have read through our bio, and she's going to be talking to us about one of the most important things that we can think of, that's personal branding and professional excellence in our workspace and even individually. Personal branding absolutely is important. How you present yourself, how people get to see you. That's what she's going to be talking about. Okay, before Danielle comes in, I'm so sorry. Mr. Raja can actually answer the question. So we have two questions for him because he needs to leave. We have two questions for you, Mr. Raja. The first is AI has taken over many human. Okay, AI has taken over many jobs these days. Is there a particular skill someone can learn to remain relevant in this technology age? So is there a particular skill for someone to learn to remain relevant in this technology age? And number two is how do one overcome the challenges just in case the world moves to a technology age? I think we already moved to a technology age, but I'll leave it to the expert who is Raja to answer that. So Raja, did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. So, okay. Let's talk about for the first question. AI is taking over many human being works nowadays. Is there a particular skill someone can learn to remain relevant in this technology? So, let's talk about this. AI is taking over many repetitive and routine tasks, but it is also creating new opportunities. So, to remain relevant in the technology, people should develop a combination of technical and human skills. The most important quality is adaptability, as I said before, and supported by continuous learning. So, person should be willing to learn new tools, update his knowledge, and adjust when industries change. Important skills. This is when we talk about the important skills, so we can include like AI literacy, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and teamwork. So you can also talk about emotional intelligence, as I said before. So like we have an example. Let's talk about example that a cybersecurity professional. I'm a cybersecurity professional. So I should not compete with AI in processing thousands of security logs manually. So they should use AI to examine the logs faster while applying human judgment to investigate suspicious activity, understand an attacker's intentions, and decide how to respond. So first, I should and we should stop viewing education as something that ends after graduation. Everyone should continue learning throughout their career, even when focused or of learning every week can produce meaningful empowerment and improvement over time. So secondly, we should learn. Coming to the second question, which was how to how do one overcome the challenges just in case the world move to a technology age family. Okay, we should learn to work with technology rather than against it. AI should be treated as an assistant, not as a something you rely on. It improves our productivity, not as a replacement for our thinking. We should build transferable skills. A particular software tool may become outdated, but communication, leadership, critical thinking, and problem solving remain valuable across different careers. So we should prepare before change becomes a crisis. We can identify which parts of our jobs may be automated. So we have to learn those technologies affecting our fields and begin developing higher level skills now, right now. I'm done. Any other
Okay,
question?
thank you. Yes. Just one more question
Okay.
from me.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
can you share one quote or one personal mantra
Code or personal
or
mantra.
guiding principle that shaped your journey and continues to inspire you today?
Okay. As I said in my presentation, like that leadership is not a position you wait for. It is a mindset you build. So start now. This principle reminds me that I do not need to wait for a senior designation or an official authority before demonstrating leadership. Whether I'm working on my FIP final year project, serving as a president at my university's cybersecurity society, or I participate in youth initiatives uh, from non-government organization Positive Pakistan, which is led by Iqbal Khari. So, participating in youth initiatives and developing professional skills, I can practice leadership by accepting responsibility, learning from setbacks, supporting others, and acting with integrity. For me, leadership begins with everyday decisions, adapting when a plan fails, remaining resilient after rejection, listening before reacting, and choosing what is right even when the easier option is available. So, position may be given to us, but a leadership mindset must be developed through our values, habits, and actions. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Roger. I just have one more question for you before I let you go. So Akodo is asking, if I choose to seize an opportunity to lead in a team, how do I not know? Okay, how do I know not to sabotage myself in terms of being perceived as too ambitious or forward or not being humble or waiting my turn? When can I step into leadership and not be seen as an opportunist in a negative light? Did you get that?
Yeah, I hear that.
Mhm.
Okay, I listened to the question. So you can step into leadership without appearing opportunistic. When your focus is clearly on helping the team succeed, not gaining attention or authority or status. Ambition itself is not negative. The real difference lies in intention and behavior. An opportunist asks, "How can this make me look important?" And where a responsible leader can ask, "What does the team need, and now, and how can I help?" So before stepping forward, consider three questions: Is there a genuine need? Am I prepared to contribute? Can I involve the team respectfully? You should also avoid competing with an existing leader if someone is already responsible or approaching privately and say that I would like to take more responsibility, or is there a part of the project that I can lead or coordinate? So these initiatives, without undermining the authority, you can achieve it. Like humility does not mean remaining silent or hiding your abilities. Humility means stepping forward without believing that you are more important than everyone else. So people more likely to trust your ambition when you volunteer yourself or listen before offering solutions, ask for input instead of forcing decisions. So there is no right time to step into leadership. When you are ready, you have to lead these things.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raja, for sharing that. Absolutely. I have taken my cue from that. I mean, I should know if it's not just I just want to shine or I really do want to help. I think these are questions that we need to ask ourselves before taking the leadership mantle. Thank you again for that perspective. Now I'm going to go back to Mr. Shei and Sumisala. The question that I have for you is, what is the mantra that you live by that has helped you in your journey so far?
Okay, so well, though mine was also similar to what I just said, but in addition to that about preparing every day, I'll say that um in life, all you need to do is just ask or go for what you want because at the end of the day, it's either you get a yes or you get a no. So there are things I've done that naturally wouldn't come to me, or positions I've gotten today wouldn't come to me. But because I just put the both steps to, take a move or ask, I was able to get it. So in life, you're the only thing between you and your next position is you. So go for it, ask, get a yes or get a no. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shea. Sumisala, do you want to take a go? Is she here? Okay, if she's not, then we quickly have to move to our next speaker. Thank you again. Everyone, you can keep your questions coming in. After the speaker, we're going to take more questions. Thank you again for your patience. Thank you for learning. Thank you for your receptive mind. So we're going to be having Danielle come talk to us about personal branding and professional excellence. Danielle, are you in the house?
Hi, hello, good afternoon.
Finally, we get to see you.
Great, amazing.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
You can take the stage.
So I can, okay, let me share my screen. Mm, Okay. So can you see my screen? Can everybody see my screen?
I think it's coming up, but yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, give me a minute. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about personal branding and professional excellence. I love interaction section, so interactive section rather. So I don't really would mind to ask few people questions just so that nobody gets offended. Hope we are good. Yes. Okay. So, who is Daniel? I'm a creative entrepreneur, a mobile videographer, now a cinematographer. I'm also a storyteller. I've worked in the marketing and branding field for over 5 years of experience, and then content creation and mobile videography for 3 years. So I've worked with businesses, I've worked with entrepreneurs, I've worked with lifestyle brands, I've worked with also tech companies. So I've built different media company, helping them. So one of my great strengths is having to build structure, having to place people where they deserve to be, especially in this digital space as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as a business as a whole. So yes, I think that is a little about me. I've worked a whole lot. So I can tell you I have hands-on experience around places. So today's roadmap and what we'll be covering is going to be quite a short section, but we are going to have things that would keep us quiet, let's say a little bit interactive or goal plans to do. So we are going to be talking about building a credible, authentic brand, habit employers actually value. So, and then a few kits, or rather a kit that you could implement on your day-to-day activity, especially starting off today. So, sorry, give me a minute. Okay. I hope you're still on track. Can everybody hear me? Hi, can everybody hear me? Okay, lovely. I wanted to be sure. So, we're going to take a case study while we begin. So let's say two companies are hiring for a position. What position could we name this? I'll just use my field as an example, maybe a marketing position, or any other, it could be a data analyst position, any position, just have a picture of a position in your mind. So if you notice that a position is being put out and people apply for this job, however, some people get hired while others don't. So this opening story, technically, okay, correct answers throughout. Strong academy background, showing up on time, but every answer was flat. So we are going to take two personalities into play. We are going to talk about Toby, the one that was not hired, and then Amara, the one that was hired. Toby was not hired because, okay, same class, same qualification, same opportunity, but Amara came prepared. Reference the company's recent, yes, the company recent projects, shared their real life stories. Maybe when she was getting interviewed, they asked her a few questions, or asked him a few questions rather, and then they answered and every other thing, but they shared their own experience. And then sent a follow-up within, sent a genuine specific follow-up within 24 hours. However, Amara that was really hired, okay, give me a minute and let me turn this off so that I can work. Yeah. So Amara, yes, there was brand clarity, intentional presence, and discipline. I'm going to forward this back into especially this digital space. I was teaching somewhere yesterday, and I think I was talking about content and how you position yourself out there as a digital person, as an employee, for people to hire you, even if you're providing a service, even if you want to work as like a 9 to 5 person and every other thing. So this current digital space goes way beyond your CV, your portfolio. I would always say this: your talent is great, your talent is amazing. However, it is never enough. It's never enough. I spoke with an HR person that happens to be a friend, and the person mentions how of this current time, they would actually scan your socials. They will actually scan for your personal brand, because I say this, your personal branding is being told from your content. Yes, it's being told for your content. So if you apply and send a portfolio, you add in your social media, maybe your LinkedIn, maybe your Instagram, maybe your Twitter accounts. Your HR person is going to scan through to know what kind of content. They can perceive your personal branding from your content. It is always, always very intentional to know what you're putting out there. So you could have the right skill, you could have answered the right question, but your social media presence or your personal branding doesn't align with the HR person. That's going to be a problem for them. So this is one thing I use as a case study, and I hope that passes a message out to you. Do we understand? So building a credible, authentic personal branding, there are going to be three practical strategies. Strategy one, use this formula, create yours. Yes. So when you are creating your personal branding, know your one statement. Your personal brand statement is your first impression before you even speak. What is that one thing you are known for? What is that one thing you tell people back to back? What's that one thing that you know that over the course of the year has been able to shape your life? If there's one thing that anybody's going to call me out for, it's going to be that, oh, if it comes to business structuring, if it comes to media, you can call Daniel Sunday. When it comes to media, you can call Daniel Sunday. When it comes to content, you can call Daniel Sunday. When it comes to positioning brands into one thing, you can call Daniel Sunday. Because when you go to my social media, I talk a lot about business structuring, I talk about content, I talk about putting yourself out there, I talk about a whole lot of things in regards to personal branding. So I have been able to build over the years my portfolio, the way I speak, to the extent that when you come, I don't need to talk much. You know that I do a whole lot of helping businesses. I help entrepreneurs position them out there. So this is one thing. Know your one statement. This one statement can be communicated physically, can be communicated online, but mostly in this digital space would mostly be communicated online, especially maybe for your clients, for your employers, XY. So yeah. So know your one statement. Let this statement be passed across throughout your social media. Your social media, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, everything should have a bit of this one statement. If I was if I was selling, what was the word? If I was providing a service for graphic design, if you come to my social media, you would likely see an imprint of my work on it. I'm talking about using different field. You should never be too shy to push out that one thing that drives you. What one thing? You never know who is looking for it. You never know who is looking for it. And this keeps you at the top of people's head. Which means if anybody's thinking about XYZ service, XYZ product, XYZ stuff, they can always say, oh, I know of this person that does this. I know of this person that does this. So know your one statement. I feel like you should tell yourself repeatedly, what is this one statement that has worked for me? What is this one thing that if they wake me up in the middle of the night and say, oh, talk about XYZ, I can do this. Talk about I can do this. So that one statement, people around you should know it. Your social media should also have an imprint of what this one statement is. So we'll move on. Strategy 2. So audit your digital footprint. There are a lot of people on social media which maybe they use their accounts for maybe personal stuff, post your picture, your videos, you eating, you doing a whole lot of things. But when it comes to the work you do, you don't have a good digital print. And a good digital print moves beyond just your Instagram. There is your LinkedIn. There's making research of what Google says about you. I do a lot of AI research, which means over the years of working or using AI, I would always go back with time and season and say, tell me about myself. I think I was doing something this morning before I took a nap. I was doing something this morning and I needed to move from taking the imprint from ChatGPT to some other AI tools because I already use Gemini too, but I needed to get it. And I asked ChatGPT, who is Daniel Sunday? Who am I? With everything I have had to research on the app, who am I? If you were to recommend a media strategist would you recommend? Like, who are the top 5 people you would? So you should be able to do research. Check on Google. Who is Daniel Sedi? What does Google say about you? What does LinkedIn say about you? What does your Twitter say about you? What are these search engine optimization apps? What are they saying about you? So audit your digital footprint. Search your name. Look at what comes up. So that these are places where you can know when to correct. Yeah, sometimes I come online and maybe I do a little bit of research and search my brand name because I'm also the founder of the Creator Agba. So I would make a research and then I realize that maybe a few apps or a few search engine have the name spelled wrong. So now I have to now work on having to rebrand. So audit your digital footprint. Maybe one afternoon, strategy 2, we are still on it. One afternoon, rewrite your LinkedIn headline. I always say this, always go back, rewrite your LinkedIn headline, hard projects that you've worked on, talk about them. I did a physical training section yesterday, and before night, I'm already talking about what I had implemented, what I've trained people on, what the discussion. These things they are called digital footprints for a reason, which means if somebody is looking for skills or people within that niche, you would always come up. So I also do UGC. I have a client that reached out and I asked her one time, like she sells a perfume, they're new in the market. So I asked her like, because when I had posted about UGC, I did not have a client as of then. So I was like, okay, what did you see that made you reach out to us to work with us? And then she said, I'd made a comment on a UGC stuff and she felt like we were going to. It wasn't a thing of my page was suggested to her. She typed in UGC creator and first, because I had used the word, I'd left a digital footprint on my socials. She was able to find me with that. So your digital footprints are very, very important. So one thing I will tell you is go back to your social media and audit. Yes, go back, check Google, check Twitter, check all of these platforms. Upload a professional video of a picture of you. We are not saying that the unprofessional ones doesn't come in. A little fun, a little professionalism. You can always balance it, especially if you're somebody like me that does not like 100% corporate. I would never give you 100% corporate. I always want to relate to you. I always want to have that day-to-day interaction with you. I want to have the little bit of fun. But when you come back to the professional part, you can always think of me. Yes, you can always think of me. The way you would communicate with me physically is how I want to also be perceived online, except I'm really talking or communicating with the company. So if a company were to reach out to me to train a staff or train their media staff or their branding staff on things, you would be able to detect, even if with how very comfortable my socials can be, you can always detect that, this person puts out all in all. This person is a professional person, aside the little interaction. Hence why your digital footprints are very important. Please always note your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Google, always make sure to leave a digital footprint. If you work as a volunteer for maybe an event, or talk about it, make sure that you make it very classy to a way that people will feel interested in you. Yes, people will feel interested in you, whereby if they have a futuristic thing and they need a service like that, they would always have you at the top of their mind. So I think that is the second one I would touch on. So let's move on. So, okay, consistency across every touch point. Yeah, consistency. Your brand is not just your LinkedIn. Yes, your brand is how you speak. Your brand is with the digital footprints you leave online. The brand is your work. The brand is everything. So your brand is not just your LinkedIn profile. It is lived in how you answer your phone, what your voicemail says, how you sign off email, and whether you show up on time. Every touch point either builds or erodes the impression you've worked on. So I'm going to state this when it comes to branding. A lot of us, especially if you're in Nigeria, you watch phone skits. You can be on social media and you are swiping and you are watching maybe a popular content creator, a popular person video. It's because and you are interested. You can, if somebody says, okay, mention XYZ content creators. If you are looking for fun content, you can on the top of your mind say their name. Why? Because they've consistently put out content there. They've consistently put their brand there. Which means if I'm talking about gadgets, let's say, especially if I want to purchase in Nigeria and I'm talking about gadgets, I can talk about, okay, Kagan, I can talk about, if it's to buy, I can talk about camera joints, I can talk about a whole lot of people because of the consistency over the amount of years. Yes, over the amount of years, they have been consistent. They put out content there. They've talked about themselves to an extent that if I'm thinking about anything that has to do with gadget, has to do with the latest XYZ, I cannot give an explanation, but I need to recommend somebody. I would mention these people because of the consistency. So consistency, as much as you're building digital footprint, consistency is key. The more you put yourself out there, the more the research engines are going to suggest you to people. Yeah. So your brand is more than just it's more than just your name. It's more than just your content. It's how you speak, what the kind of things you put out there, your consistency on social media. So brand strategy and brand consistency means every interaction, digital or in person. I've mentioned this. It goes way beyond digital. It goes way beyond. That's why you have things like referral. A friend will refer you because of the amount of things you've had to tell them. Yeah. If you're talking about content, you're talking about wedding, you're talking about, okay, building XYZ brand, my friend is able to refer me because they've seen me talk about it so passionately. They've seen my work, but however, with the amount of things I've had to, because it sells way beyond social media. It sells way beyond digital. I'm talking about in person. Why? Because there are some people you know that are not on social media. You have interaction with people day to day. Day to day. The branding is way beyond your socials. Yes, socials are great. Socials is the happening thing. Your digital footprint is the happening thing. However, you have people that are up there that don't use socials. So as much as you leave your digital footprint, also live in person. Let people think of you and know and say, okay, I know this person can do this. I know this person can do this. I know I've seen this person say this. So recruiters and employees notice when your professional presence feel published in a way or in one place or careless in another. You will not see a professional person, especially if you work in maybe a bank, an investment stuff, come on socials and implement characteristic of maybe being nonchalant. When I mean nonchalant, I'm talking of maybe you see a video of you dancing, twerking on. No, most of the accounts you would always see them be professional. So branding is way beyond your name, is way beyond your content, is also how you speak, the kind of content you put out there, and every other thing. Small inconsistency creates doubt. Yes, small inconsistency creates doubt. Always pinpoint that. So I'm not going to say show up every day. Show up every day. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say as much as you can, please put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. It's going to help you in a long way, on a long run. It's going to really, really help you. So key takeaway, consistency is not about perfection, it's about alignment. Making sure every touch point reflects the same standard of professionalism you want to be known for. I was talking about my goals yesterday, and I said, one of my goals is to be the most influential media woman in Nigeria. That's like my greatest goal. So when I'm trying to keep my digital footprint, when I'm trying to sell myself to people, you would not see me sell myself in a way that does not leave media. If you are talking about media, you would remember, especially if you're in my circle. If you are talking about media, you would remember me. If you're on my socials, if you talk about media, the amount of things I've pushed out, the amount of products I've had to bring out, the trainings I've put in and out, you would always talk the way I would talk to people. Because one thing is your goals would always align for you, except you don't really have a large goal. But from somebody like me that has quite a big goal that has to do with the digital space, and yes, the digital space, there's a way to present yourself, there's a way to talk, there's a way you would see me put on my content there. So professional voicemail, yes, the consistency rule, the professional voicemail greeting, clean consistency, your email signature, your punctuality at every interaction. I say this with pride, and I say this because I have in-house staffs also, is you would never find me go to an event late. I've never been a person that goes to events late, and I would never be. Why is because I grew up being a prefect in school. So I was fellowship prefect, which means I had to be in school before even teachers. And that has also implemented to me. I've had several clients that say, oh, when it comes to lateness, please don't worry, Danielle never comes late. So those kind of things are being imprinted. These are all about your branding. They are all branding, how you perceive yourself, the things you do. People are watching. Yes, people are watching. You will never find me go to events. You will never find me talk to clients. You will never see me say XYZ amount of things. So I'm going to state that show up. Yes, show up, leave a digital footprint, leave it in person, leave it on the social medias, leave it on your digital space. However, be consistency. Let people not know you for XY thing, and then tomorrow you are retwisting. There is a place of rebranding, because when I started off as a social media manager, but over the course of years, I've had to do community management, I've had to do lifestyle and PR, I've had to do marketing and branding, I've had to do creative direction. It still falls under media. However, I've been able to rebrand and re-strategize myself. That does not look out of place. That does not look out of place. So consistency at every point. I'm not saying you should be known for XYZ. If for any reason you move in career-wise, always reintroduce yourself to people. If I was a social media manager and I'm coming out as a community management manager, I would always be able to implement what I had done as a social media manager and how I'm implementing that back into this new role I've been able to acquire. I hope you guys are with me. Please leave a comment so I can see. So we are going to habits, attitude, and skills employers actually value. Yeah, we are going to get to that. So I hope you guys are following. I'm not able to see your comments. However, I'm checking. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you. Okay. So let's proceed. So it is, I mentioned this, it is never about your CV. Your CV can be perfect. The amount of skills you've done is amazing. It gives you a big more leverage than more people. However, your branding, the way you perceive things, the kind of person you are, these digital footprints you leave on socials or on the digital space actually matter. So what hiring managers actually say, they follow up without having to chase them. If there's one thing you would say me, if there is a role I am looking for and I want to acquire, I would send out my CV. If the way I talk in my CV would never give up 100% professional person. Because I said that earlier that you won't find me doing 100%. I am 70% professional and then 30. So anything that comes with my interaction, you would always see me implement that. So when maybe I get passed for the professional level and maybe they're having an interview, when I come on board to talk, when I'm being physically interviewed, when I'm being interviewed online, you will see me portray things. And by the time I'm done, I mostly would always get a role. Why? Because I'm passionate about what I do. My digital footprint leaves a print for me. And then also the way I speak does not relate different from what I've portrayed and said. Do you understand what I'm saying? So hiring manager, tell people they take feedback and then implement. So when you apply for roles and maybe you get a rejection, one thing you should always pinpoint is having to pick the reason why you were not accepted and rebrand and repurpose and revision yourself and go back out there better. Yes. So people they are looking for the HRs are looking for zealous people that actually have a good digital imprint, because as much as you do, you are going to implement that in their company one way or the other. Yeah, one way or the other. I was talking to a friend that works for a popular oil and gas company. And then these people reached out to him via LinkedIn to employ him. And when they had checked his social, they had seen that what he implements on his LinkedIn was as well as the other social platform. And that is who he is in person. However, there are some other people whereby when they reach out and they employ the person, they would, yes, there's also another scenario where I have another friend and he started having issue with his company. Why? Because they knew him for one thing, and then later when they discovered on his digital footprint, they found out that it was nothing alike. It's kind of content that he put out, it's kind of digital footprint that has been left, we're not tallying. It's not a thing of they're trying to reject or is work, or they are trying to downplay is work. It's not that. It's because your digital footprint will also leave an imprint for the company too. Because if for any reason you are being sent out to represent the company, people are going to still say, oh, it's not you that XYZ, it's not you that did this, it's not you, your content that we see this. I'm not going to be employing somebody that works in a club to work for an oil and gas company, knowing well that they tally, knowing well that the kind of content you're going to put out is very different from what is being done in the professional aspect. People try to micromanage it, so people would not put out that particular aspect of their digital footprint or their digital space at all, just so that they can focus on being corporate. While some people may not even work in the corporate organization at all. I'm trying to give a balance. It goes way beyond corporate organization. It also serves for clients and the rest. So 5 habits today, learnable starting today, be reliable. Let you tell people about you, and let people be able to rely on you. You won't want to preach out one thing and then say another thing. Yes, be reliable. Like I said, when you talk about punctuality, you would never find my you will always find my name there. Rather, you would always find my name there. When it comes to media space, you would always find. I've been able to build the reliability over the course of the years. Because when I say one thing, I always want to try my best to implement it. It's never always too easy, but being reliable is a very good skill. Is a very good habit that I feel everyone should have. Be coachable, respond to correction with curiosity and gratitude. Never be too defensive. So this particular aspect, I'm not going to lie, when I started off in the media space, I would have, especially when you start providing services for clients, I would have a client reach out to me, and maybe a service was provided and then they didn't like it, because knowingly or unknowingly you would have clients like that. So when I started off, I realized that I wasn't a people's person, which means if correction came in, I was always grumpy, I was always feeling down, and then there was no community, there was no, where you don't have that skill of a community manager. Yes, that's why I took the course on community management, so that it could help me on how to communicate with clients, with people, and the rest. So always be open to learn, open to correction, with curiosity and gratitude. Now, if a client reaches out to me and says something, but I always would say, oh, I'm really sorry, I really apologize. What do you think we could have done better? What do you think I could have done better? I'm really sorry that we are looking for growth here. So we are really open. You will never see me take that correction and implement in a wrong way. Yes, always be coachable, always be reliable, clear communication. Clear communication goes in a very broad way. Yes, clear communication goes in a very broad way. However, say most important statements first. Some things that matters to you should be implemented first. So if a client reaches out to you and say, oh, they want to hire you for XYZ service, XYZ role, always make clear statements. If you feel like some things are going to be very shaky, tell them outrightly. So that you don't have issues with people, clients, your HRs, and every other person. Yes. Ownership and emotional intelligence. Ownership, admit mistake early and fix them. Don't hide, always fix the problems you have. So yeah, I think yes, that's that. Your toolkit to what to do this week. I'll send this slide because of the toolkit I have added on. So this week toolkit, search for your name online. That's one task you should do from today. Is search for your name online and check for every embarrassing thing, every error that's been put out. Update your LinkedIn, update your social, update it. If you are a media strategist, write on your socials you are a media strategist. If you do XY amount of things, say you do XY amount of things. If you come to my Instagram, you're going to, I updated this yesterday because I'm trying to put out a new role. So you will see Danielson, the media strategist, UGC creator, and the media girly. I also teach content creation. So you would see content educator, which means if you're searching for people around content educator, maybe you are even making research on content education, I would always come up one way or the other. So audit your Google. Yes, audit your Google, check, do your research, build a brag document. Yes, build a brag document. If for any reason you were employed, you achieved something great, come out and talk about it. Yes, talk about it with zeal, with strength, with love, with say it to the extent that people would be interested in you. And then one thing you should always do is, we are going back to the coachable and the rest, is if you apply for roles, you apply for things, always follow up. I feel companies love it when you follow up and say, oh, I would like to get a feedback on the interview that was done, or I'm guessing they'd love to get a feedback on XYZ, so that you can also pinpoint your errors and implement in, just in case you don't get the roles. So yes, your talent gets you in the room, where your brand decide what happens after you leave. If I get to any place in life, I always want to leave an imprint. Yes, I always want to leave an imprint. I want to be known for XYZ. I want to be known that when I leave that place, people are going to say, ah, who was that girl? Yes, who was that girl? What did she say? Oh, when I talk about content education, when I talk about the digital space, when I talk about making XYZ amount of money very easy in the digital space, I can think of this. People can think about you way, way beyond after you leave the room. Your branding should be things that speak for you even after you leave the room. So I think that is all from me. It's quite a short section. Any question and answer? I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Oh my word, thank you so much. Can we have a virtual round of applause for Danielle? Thank you so much for all of this insight you've shared with us on personal branding and professional excellence. A couple of things that you have said have stayed with me, and then I'll just mention a few of them. Knowing your personal statement, when people hear your name, what comes to their head about you? It's something that we should work on. It's something I am going to be working on personally as well. And then audit your digital footprint. It is absolutely important. We've seen cases where if you apply for a visa, right, like the American at the American embassy, you have to go check your socials. So if your social, if even if all your documentation is good, but your socials is not fine, of course you could get denied, right? So absolutely, it's time for us to know that we need to audit. Even if you're not applying for a visa, we should know that we should audit our digital footprints. Sometimes some people would say things that even if you're getting to do a business or you're going to do a transaction with them, if you go just check what their thoughts online, it could help you, decide if you're going to be doing this transaction with them, either a personal transaction or a business transaction. Another thing that you have said is branding is how people perceive you. How do people perceive you? It's important that you make sure that people perceive you in a good light, in a positive light. And then again, the last thing we connect every speaker that's spoken today is consistency. Not you're out today, you're in tomorrow. Consistency is a rule of the game. Consistency is a rule of the day. Be very consistent in all that you do. Thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing all of this with us.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you. If you have any questions, please put them on the chat box. Let me see. I think we have one question. Oh, Sadiq is saying that he never knew that HRs do this kind of background checks, and he knows that embassies and consulates do this, but HRs do this. Absolutely, we actually do. I work as a human resource manager. I think I mentioned that earlier, and yes, I do. I absolutely do. For every person that I'm interviewing, or for every person that I get to send an offer letter to, I absolutely have to do background checks for them, especially their digital footprint. You never can tell people what people are into. Anybody can come up with using AI to give you an awesome CV. Anybody can come bamboozle you with words when they come in for an interview, but their digital footprint would never forget. You know, the way they would say internet never forgets, right? Something you think you have posted in the last 10, 15 years, it comes up if people get to check properly. So like Daniela said, make sure you clean up your digital footprint, make it good. When people see what you're saying on your CV, what you're saying about yourself, it's the same thing people get to see online. So there's a consistency, there's a pattern. People know that this is who this person is. Thank you again, Danielle, for all of this that you've shared with us. So I think he's also saying no more cruise online, no more cruise, oh, please, oh, know what you're saying, oh. Know what you
Be
are saying.
careful. I would say you can't cruise online. However, be mindful of what you do. If you go on my socials, you will see places where I would joke, but you won't find me in people's comment section giving suggestions to things.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, when you go for your day-to-day activities, maybe you are scrolling on and you see something that people have opinion on, always try not to leave anything. Because you never know where you. I have somebody that when they see your stuff, they block you. It depends on, they may not tally it, it may not even be something wrong, but always try not to be involved. Yes.
Oh, well, he is saying even on trending stories. Well, what I think Danielle is trying to say is that even if you are going to put anything out there, it should not put you in a in it should not put you in a tight corner when people feel like, yeah, this person, oh, I have to be mindful of them. All right. Thank you so much. Let's just give time for people to ask their questions. The questions here. Any questions from anybody? Oh, before you joined in, Danielle, I asked two questions from our speakers. So I'm going to be asking you both questions now. I'd like that you answer both questions. Yes. So the first is looking ahead to the next 5 to 10 years, what is one skill or quality you believe every young person must develop to remain resilient, relevant, and globally competitive, especially in personal branding and professional excellence? Number two is, can you share one quote or one personal mantra or one guiding principle that has shaped your journey and continues to inspire you today?
So I think the one quality I believe young people should have is the learning agility. Yes, the learning agility. I mentioned this because I know how when you get a particular role or you think you've acquired an XY amount of things or goals you've planned to achieve, you become much more relaxed. I love learning, and learning has helped me. You would always find me move into things that really doesn't matter just because I need to acquire knowledge. If I'm saying that I want to be the world's most influential media woman, there is an amount of learning that has to go in. Yes. So the world is changing too quickly for anyone to rely on what they've learned 5 years ago. Yes, their learning agility is the willingness to keep growing, experimenting, improving yourself. Improving yourself is very, very key. Yes, that's one thing I would say, the learning agility. Did I answer that? So I think for the second one, can I proceed to the second one?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So I'll say the second one when it comes to one quote and personal mantra that guide principles that shaped my journey is create with purpose. Yes, create with purpose, build with structure, and lead with impact. So if for any reason I have maybe a new product, a new service, a new something I need to render, I would create with the purpose of a futuristic purpose. And then I will build a structure around it and also make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm leaving an impact. I'm leaving an impact. It goes way beyond getting, maybe making income. Yes, making income for your day-to-day activities. It goes way beyond that. So always learn to create with purpose, build with structure, lead with impact. This word will guide everything you do. Creativity can open doors, but structure keeps them open. Yes, structure leaves an imprint for you. Structure keeps them open, which means things that maybe you say goals are the rest. Yes, structure would actually help you fix that, even when you are no longer there in the picture. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you see me? I don't know what is wrong with my video now. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing that. Um, yes, we have an announcement coming up. The Youth International Day event that is coming up. We're going to be sharing it. Let me see if I have it here right. Okay. Sakina, can you help me put it up so I can speak about it? But before we go, as we conclude today's summit, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has taken out their time to join us. It's been a lovely, lovely long session, speaking with learning from four professional speakers today. It's been wonderful. I want to extend my appreciation to every distinguished speaker that we've had today. It's been lovely, lovely learning from you all. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your experiences. To everyone who has joined us today from everywhere in the world, thank you for your participation, for your patience, for sharing your insights, your thoughts, and then your engagement. We are absolutely amazed that you waited this long to be with us. The conversations we have had, they remind us that leadership is not just defined by age. I mean, as we've had very young speakers today, and innovation is not reserved for experts. But an impact begins with the decisions we make every single day. So whether you're a student, you're an entrepreneur, you're a young professional, an aspiring leader, you're a team leader yourself, I encourage you with all that you've learned today. Let's take one insight from today's discussion and then, introduce it to your work every single day. Because small and consistent actions, we've learned that consistency is the rule of the game. Consistency is the rule of the day. So our small and consistent actions will create extraordinary results. So on behalf of Global Impact Tech, thank you so much for being a part of this Empowerment Summit 2026. Continue learning, continue growing, and continue leading with purpose. My name is Sinade Daniel, and I'm your moderator. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to moderate today with you. Okay, I think Akudo has a question. Yes, Akudo. Yes. Yes. She said she's asking, would the recording be available for us to rewatch? Yes, the link is already in. The link should be in the chat box. Yes, the link should be in the chat box. And then again, we're going to mail every participant today with the link, with our socials and with the link. So you can rewatch on the YouTube channel. It's going to be there. So yes, the slides that have been shared today by every of our speakers will be available as well to all participants. So thank you so much for staying. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you and to learn from you. Thank you again and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Okay. Thank you, Abdulwasir. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Akudu. Thank you, Safari. Thank you, Accuracy. Thank you, Majid. Thank you. Thank you, Ayuba. Oh, yes. Thank you, Moko. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Sulaiman. Thank you, Abib. Yes. Thank you, Jean.